Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for the Ninja Troll Digicast. My name is Tim Dixon. I am here with, as always, with Mike Worth, and we are your host for this Ninja Troll Digicast. Did you have something to say? Did I interrupt? I'm sorry.
I was going to say my new nickname is the Shamrock Shake, but
Are you
I'm here for a limited time only.
the Shamrock Shake?
And
It's because it's close to March.
It is, and the mystery is in the green color. No one knows where it comes
That's
from.
a mystery, all right.
How the hell are you, Timmy D?
I am doing well. I'm finally back to 100%, I think, or at least maybe 75, 80%.
From your bacchiotomy?
Yeah, I had issues with my back. I did things that angered it.
Ooh.
And whatever it was, I will not do that again.
So you laid an offering to the back gods?
Yeah.
And you're about 70%?
Yeah, I think I'm back up to like 75, 80%, something like that. So.
You must bring your best barley
But, yeah.
and give a burnt offering.
And some of the things that we have prepared for this week's Ninja Troll Digicast
my
were
God.
done under the influence of muscle relaxers and pain meds.
Sweet.
So I'm making no promises about
Welcome
this
to
will
the
be
Grant
like.
Morrison edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Exactly. This will be like the Animal Man crisis.
Crisis of infinite backs.
That's right. But we've got a lot of stuff going on this week. We kind of missed last week, and we're early this week, so we're kind of shoving 2 weeks into one.
This is a
About
Misty
halfway.
Borderland episode.
It is, yeah. We're right
'cause we're in
the middle
between universes.
of where we usually are, yeah.
Yes.
But we've got a lot of movie and TV news. We've got a lot of comic book news, including more news about the rebirth, maybe, kinda. And in our Exploring the Multiverse segment, we've got the second half of the Infinite Crisis.
That's right.
And actually, this was something you said you were thinking of, maybe leaving just the last issue for its own thing.
That would be
It's pretty jam packed.
proper, but it's we're going to go for it, Tim.
Cool.
It's an amazing story, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Cool, awesome. And also in our showcase segment, we've got the science fiction, the greatest science fiction novels from the 70s. We're moving up through time, and we've arrived at disco. So, there were some good things that came out of the 70s, including these science fiction novels.
And cocaine.
And that too,
No,
yes.
that's horrible.
Well.
Yeah, it ruined everything.
That intensifies your personality.
What? Moving along.
And yes,
Cool.
some stuff that came around this week. Word came out, and actually this came from my wife. She got like an email from Amazon, I think.
Oh.
And looking into it, because she thought at first it was going to be a new Harry Potter novel, just
Oh.
like a straight novel.
Yes.
What it is the scripts from the movie. From the play that's playing in Britain now,
Oh.
called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like rewritten into prose. It's going to be the script from the play,
Oh,
but it will be released in hard format so that you can read.
so you can smack somebody with it. That's
Basically,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. More Potter, right? To extend the
And
universe.
it's set 19 years after the end of Deathly Hallows.
Ooh.
So it's
Harry's
him
40,
with the child.
45
Yeah.
about? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's
With Jenny
yes.
Right.
He was married to Jenny,
Weasley.
and then Ron and Hermione were married, and
Oh,
they both
man.
had kids, and they were sending them off to Hogwarts.
So they're going to have like a moppy-headed ginger kid,
Yes.
Harry and Jenny, and then a curly ginger
Yes.
with Ron and Hermione. Good Lord.
Because you saw that at the end. I don't know if it's the same time as the flash forward that we saw at the end of Deathly Hallows, because you see that right at the end of the movie.
Right.
They're sending their kids off, and the one that was called Harry's kid that was named Albus Severus Potter. So he gave him Snape's
Damn.
name.
Yeah.
So-
Dumbledore's first
And
name.
Dumbledore's first, it was
Yeah,
his
right.
first name. So, but yeah, I don't know if it's set exactly at that time or whether it's a little bit later or exactly when it is. So,
The Cursed Child.
but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And wonder if one of their children is the cursed child.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always going to be somebody else. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the sleeper.
Snape was the Half-Blood Prince.
And we never saw that coming.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Well, I didn't.
Well, yeah.
I'm oblivious to these things. I had no idea.
Oh, now I've got to warn my daughter because she hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Oh,
so,
Lord.
hey, there's
Okay.
a spoiler in this episode, so
Okay.
if she starts to listen. I'll ruin
And I
everything.
recently learned that it takes place in England. So
No.
that's... Which, who knew? I thought it was Jersey. It had that look.
Yeah, they had those accents. So.
Yeah.
And something else that came that I saw this week, or actually I think I saw it last week, a 9.4 graded copy of Amazing Fantasy number 15
Ooh.
is going on auction. It says next week, but I think I wrote this last week, so it could be this week.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's expected to fetch 400,000 plus.
Wow. I would expect more. I don't know why I would. Am I crazy
I
to
don't
think
know.
that?
I mean,
have comics ever gone for $1 million?
yeah, the Action Comics that just sold.
The Superman, the number one, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Is it Action Comics number one?
Yeah, it was Action
Yeah.
Comics 1. And it was, I think they rated it at 9.6.
Wow.
Yeah, because it had been bought, read once, and put in a
Oh,
cedar chest
that's right.
up in the mountains.
Basically
So
like
it
a
was-
salt mine. Yeah, and it's
it
perfect.
was perfect storage.
Cool. Well, that's a nice price tag for
Yeah.
a great comic.
Yeah, and then 400 plus, it could go for $500,000.
It's very close to that,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, so I mean,
I like math.
that's well, it sounds better. You could say 400,000.
It sounds
Say
weak.
almost $500,000. That's a whole different thing. It's like the 1999 instead of saying 20.
I get the hairs, Timmy, when you say the $500,000. You're right. That does work. I see what you did there. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And also, Stardust, he had this ongoing thing with Stephen Amell on the
Stardust from WWE. Yep.
Exactly, sorry.
For our non-wrestling fans.
That's right. We don't have those. Stardust crashed Stephen Amell's
Sorry,
panel.
Mom. Okay. I thought you represent you here.
Oh, she's watching Raw every Monday night.
Talk about my mama.
Yeah.
Timmy,
Hey, let me tell you something. I worked in the
I'm
wrestling
going to
business.
hit you with the bell.
I worked in the wrestling business for 10 years.
Yeah.
And some of the nastiest fans I ever saw were little
ladies?
old women.
Oh.
I'd said stuff
man.
that I wouldn't say to a dog.
Now you just call my mom a little old
Hey,
woman.
I'm just saying.
You're digging, man.
I had one lady took out her teeth and showed them to a guy as he was walking around the ring.
Damn.
I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
I'd have been like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I was
That's
standing.
just so gross.
I was standing in the ring with the referee, and I looked at him. I was like, "Did I just see what I thought I saw?" Yep. And again, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I don't know. But anyway,
So what did Stardust do?
Stardust crashed Stephen Amell's panel at the Dallas Comic-Con.
Oh, perfect.
And he had the Slammy Award there. And they announced, it was really cool, they announced what they're going to do with the Slammy. They're both signing it, and they're auctioning it off to raise money for this this boy who he's fighting stage 4 brain cancer.
Oh, wow.
And he's a huge WWE fan. He's a huge Stardust fan. So they brought him into a show, got him up into the ring, and he actually signed a contract as a WWE superstar.
Oh, wow.
Which is, I mean, this kid was over the moon. He was like,
Oh,
and
my
he,
God.
he
I
had,
bet. I'd be over the moon.
yeah, he had played this, and I'm sure quite a substantial amount of money comes from that as well.
Oh, sure,
also,
yeah.
but he had played the video game, and he had his whole character laid out. He was going to be called Drax Shadow. So they signed Drax Shadow to a contract, and they're
wow.
going to auction this Slammy off, signed by both of them, and give the money to this kid. And so they announced that, and that was all. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." And then all of a sudden,
Drama.
Stardust grabs a glass of water and throws it in his face. So I'm sure they're setting up for something else, probably WrestleMania. I would figure because he did.
Is that coming up in the calendar?
Yeah, end of March, beginning of April.
Cool.
So the whole interaction with them has gone so well, and it's gotten so much good attention.
Yes.
They're gonna love to do it for WrestleMania. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's good stuff. So,
So he's still in the wrestling thing, Stephen Amell.
oh yeah,
All right.
he loves wrestling, and he watches it every. And that was the thing. He was making a case why he should guest host Raw for a long time before he was actually on there.
Oh, because he just loves it.
Yeah, he loves
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
and
He jumped the shark on that one.
yeah,
He didn't have to be Mean Gene Okerlund, in the second half of his career.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a good crossover. Cody Rhodes, who plays Stardust, loves comics, so it fits perfectly. The two of them get along really well.
All right, well, Berlanti has to get him into the show somehow. He has to play a supervillain.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because Cody does it so well. I mean, he's just...
Oh, he would kill it on TV.
He's so over the top, and so he's almost like the trickster. He's so...
Oh, he's like
goofy over the top.
Over the acting?
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
Well, plus CG, he'd be great.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't need a whole lot. He looks pretty freaky. But they... also, I saw this a couple days ago. The site, now that Deadpool is out, the site kidsinmind.com
Oh, yeah.
counted all the obscenities in Deadpool, which, okay, I applaud this site to help parents know what they're... But if you're even wondering whether your child should be able to go see Deadpool, you've got something wrong with you. No.
There's not that person saying no in everybody's life, Timmy. So
you should know better. But they counted all the obscenities in Deadpool.
What'd they get?
About 84 F words and its derivatives, 3 obscene hand gestures, 21 sexual references, 34 scatological terms.
Like poop?
Yeah.
Oh.
19 anatomical terms, 8 mild obscenities, name calling, including crazy, weird, stupid, idiot, tool, hooker, mutants, although that's probably not like a name calling thing in this movie.
Yeah, right.
It's just a
A
descriptor.
word. Right.
Douche pool.
Which is also a descriptor.
Exactly. Ugly mug, fugly mug, ugly cockroach, and maggot.
Boy. And so, okay, so this can't go without consequences, right? All these obscenities are adding up to a ban in China, we heard already.
Yes,
right?
and it's also been banned in Uzbekistan.
Oh, that was the market we were trying
So
to break
all those
into.
Uzbeks that want to go see this movie,
They're going to have to go across the border and see it.
bootleg.
Yep.
See, you're forcing us to bootleg.
I know.
See?
Thank
All this
government.
Uzbeks. So, and this was a really, really cool story that I caught the other day, and it didn't get a lot of press, which kind of surprised me. If I was Marvel, I'd be trumpeting this crazy.
Yeah, what happened?
Dominic, a young boy in Sydney, Australia, who has cystic fibrosis, that's close to my heart because my daughter has CF as well.
Yes.
He had a big day recently when through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, he got to save the world. He was picked up in a helicopter at his playground, taken to police headquarters where he found his custom handmade Iron Boy suit. Then he went off and saved a hostage from evil henchmen and ended up fighting Ultron at the Sydney Opera House while the city cheered him on. So it's almost like the Bat Kid that was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Everybody came together and gave this kid a heck of a day. Yeah,
wow,
and a great experience. And when Robert Downey Jr. heard about it, he sent him a video naming him an honorary Avenger. So it was just absolutely awesome. I mean, for the everyone involved, including Marvel, Robert Downey Jr., because, I mean, he didn't do it because somebody said, hey, you should do this. He saw the video and said, this is great, and we need to get involved here.
Oh, man, that's awesome. What a great follow-up to that, like an already cool story.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it was, I mean, the Make-A-Wish Foundation is incredible when they go all out like this to make stuff like this happen for these kids.
Sorry, I just thought of something completely awful. There would be a great Make-A-Wish Foundation fail website. I think that would be an amazing blog or a Tumblr where Make-A-Wish Foundation didn't quite work out. And they end up making it worse for somebody. Sorry, I'm a bad person, and I went there. But that would be incredibly funny. Because you hear about these things when they work out, right? And that's amazing, right? Like, what if something bad happened? Like a hero, didn't come in correct costume and broke the whole thing, and then the kid was like, "You're not Spider-Man," right? And it just fell apart.
That would be bad.
That would be awful.
But we don't want to hear those stories.
No, but it would be
cool stories.
Well, it'd be fun to do on lunchtime.
That's not cool.
All right, I've ruined this segment. This is why we can't have nice things.
You brought
Mike.
us all down. Yep. All right, so
it would be funny.
Let's just transition straight into our movie and TV news. And the biggest thing, I think, in the last couple days, the final trailer for Batman vs. Superman was released.
Amazing.
If you're not excited about this yet, and you've seen this, I don't know what to tell you.
You're not breathing. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's Weekend at Bernie's for you. Because it was amazing trailer. I hadn't seen it, and you were like, dude, you looked at me like, oh, you wanted to bro out, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen it.
You've got to.
But
I mean,
wow. I mean, yeah, right. Seeing Affleck fight, like, I gotta say, it felt like a video game.
It absolutely felt like the Arkham Asylum style video game.
Lots of like, doof, 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 like
Yeah.
hits from all angles, good camera movement. I mean, it feels like real good fighting.
Yeah.
So
And he almost like did a rock bottom to one of the guys,
Yeah.
which is the Rock's move. So
yeah, right, right,
once again, wrestling and comic
I
books
see.
fit together.
You're always weaving it.
But yeah, it was definitely it had a great feel to the fighting. I feel like a more realistic feel to the fighting.
Right, because like Batman would hold somebody up, and then move over, and like you could tell he was like really working the room, and then the whole thing with like coming in through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like
And he's got a dozen guys there. He has to keep everything moving quickly. He has to strike and put them down immediately.
right.
There's no time to.
Well, he'll get shot. He'll have to take out
Yeah,
like just like the
exactly.
game. You got to like target the guys who are gonna hit you from afar, and
Yep.
or the one with the stun sticks.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and you got to see Alfred being more of a tactical part of.
Right.
He was the one
dusting the statues.
Yeah, he was the one flying the Batwing that.
Yeah.
Got
Drop you
him
off on
there.
the second
Yeah.
floor. Right.
Got him there. Yeah, and you got more banter between the two of them, and a real look inside. And we had a little bit of this, but we got a real look into Bruce Wayne's mind. Like, okay, he has the power to destroy everything. If we even have a 1% chance that he might go bad, we have to take it
right.
as a certainty,
Right.
and we have to be prepared. And so that's his mindset. That's always Batman's mindset. He has to be prepared for every eventuality, and that's why he has a plan in place to take down every member of the Justice League just in case. That's the way he looks at things.
It's batshit crazy, but
But it is what it is.
it is. It's batshit genius.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we got to see Wonder Woman speak, and her leap into action, which was pretty cool.
It really was.
Yeah. And the biggest thing was Batman blocks the punch and the look on Superman's face.
Oh yeah, when he looked at, he's like, "Whoa." Yeah, he looked at
what
his
just
arm.
happened. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like everything had come apart for him at that point.
I wonder what that's going to be, because you see Superman and some other trailers kind of give it to Affleck when he's in the suit, so it's not like the suit all of a sudden just worked. There's got to be something at play. There's got to be
well,
kryptonite crystal or something.
Exactly. That's what if they go with the story from Dark Knight Returns, kryptonite is involved.
Yeah, right. That little chamber opens, and
Because Batman knows that's what he does. He finds out the weakness, and it's always the joke between me and Chuck Charles for years is you give Batman 2 weeks notice and he can beat anybody, because he'll figure
2
out
weeks notice.
he'll figure out what what your weakness is.
and he can move out of his apartment. That's a fair time.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he'll
give
clean out
notice
his
for his
desk.
job. Yeah. But yeah, that's the whole thing. He knows, and he's the tactician.
Right.
He knows what he needs to do to take him down.
It's going to be awesome. I think you're right. If you've seen this trailer and you're still like, I don't know, right? Like, just don't be a naysayer. Just now go see it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And then naysay afterwards.
Yeah. And if it doesn't turn out well, like Man of Steel, I really wanted it to be really good. I had issues with it afterwards,
Yes.
but I still went to see it.
Right.
I mean, and until, even if I wasn't sure from the trailers, I'm still going to go see it, because, you have to go see it to
Nerd
poop
obligation.
on it. Yeah.
Yes.
But
to poop on it.
To poop on it, you really have to go see it, because
You got to
haven't
take
even
a couple spoonfuls in the movie theater.
As Negan's guy said in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, chew and swallow.
Yeah, take a bite, chew, swallow, repeat. But speaking of that, let's transition to The Walking Dead. Walking Dead made its mid-season premiere Sunday night, 2 nights ago.
Holy moly.
And boy, was a good one.
Oh my goodness.
It was action-packed.
Action-packed. I mean, from the first scene, right? It was like,
Daryl Dixon with the rocket launcher.
damn.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
The one way to make him cooler.
I didn't think they could. I didn't think they could,
But you think about it, that was the worst thing they could do, is separate the most badass guy there. They didn't know he was the most badass part of the group.
Right.
But, yeah, take him to the back where you can't see him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right. To look for stuff in the car.
Down. The guy's
Let's
dead.
take apart the bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was action-packed the whole way. A lot of it straight out of the comic books.
Yeah, you were saying, right? A lot of scenes you recognize from panels.
The injuring of Carl, where he loses his eye.
Yeah.
Straight out of the
crazy.
comic books.
That was a crazy scene.
I didn't, and that's one of those things same thing with Rick losing his hand. I don't know if they'll ever do that in the show, and I really didn't expect them to do this with Carl, simply because this is already a show where you have a crap load of effects to do every show.
But they'll bandage him. They'll give him a patch. He'll be like the governor, right?
Yeah, but he'll still have to, even with, like, in the comics, he wears glasses. He doesn't want to wear a patch simply because of that with the governor.
Yeah.
But he wears glasses, but you still have to, you can still kind of see it underneath.
Yeah.
So some type of makeup or CG will have to be done. And this is already a show that has so much to do like that.
Well, maybe they have. I feel like they have unlimited budget. Like
Probably,
they probably
yeah.
got whatever they want because they're AMC's flagship show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can do it.
Yeah, they can pull it off. But it was
a good test for Rick's hand, right, to see if they can do that.
Yeah, it was really well done. But also Carl isn't the main character, because I mean it's an ensemble cast, but Rick is kind of the leader, so he's in the majority of
at least 60% of the show, of the shots per episode.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would be a little different for him. I guess he would wear one of those little socks that they put over and they CG it out, but.
Like Young Frankenstein, the constable, the German constable who has like the hand that screws in.
Could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the episode was really, really cool.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Rick's potential woman.
Yeah, that was sad.
And Sam became walker bait.
Sam, that little kid.
Sam, he'd lost. I mean, his mind cracked completely.
I didn't. Like, why then? They had already been out there.
It was just too much. I think it was one of the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just at some point it was gonna.
It didn't seem like that group of walkers or them walking in a group was any more intense than when they first started doing it. So that's why I was like, why did he finally fall apart then?
Yeah, it's a good question, and that wasn't necessarily. I don't think it was any necessarily a point that pushed him over. It was just a continuation of
it was going to happen that day.
It's going to happen, yeah.
He needs a snack and a nap.
Yeah.
He's beyond.
Yeah, and he became a snack and a nap.
He sure did. Oh.
And
sick burn.
And that that whole thing was exactly from the comics.
Cool.
She was clamped on to Carl's hand.
Yeah,
and
right.
Rick had to cut her arm off
with the tomahawk.
Yeah, with the hatchet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that kid was going to be trouble. He still had the gun at the end of the episode last time, and I was like, okay, he's still got the gun, and he was getting ready to shoot Carl.
I know.
So yeah,
get over that crap, man.
Carl's too nice. He's like his dad. He needs to go to like scary Walker Apocalypse
sales school.
Yeah. He needs to become like scary Rick instead of nice Rick.
That's right.
So
always be scary.
Yeah, that's right. But we also had this. Yeah, I don't know how well it came off. It looked a little cheesy on the show.
What?
The whole montage of,
the
cut after cut after cut after cut after cut of them.
I felt like Psycho.
Yeah, but it was directly from the comics. There was like 2 pages of panel of them all just hacking through a group, and it made it feel like the comic book there.
Cool.
It was a nice callback, I think. And Eugene and Gabriel both have finally stepped up.
Oh, in a big way. Yeah. Well, Gabriel saved Judith pretty much, right? I mean.
Well, but okay. He finally stepped up afterwards when he waded in with the group. He waded in and started fighting.
Yep.
But up to that point, he hadn't shown anything. So how smart was it for Rick to give Judith to him?
I guess they set it up to be like his only choice, but like I agree, it seemed weird. I was like, really him?
This is the worst child care choice you can make.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Because Gabriel has screwed everything up constantly.
Pretty much. But
From
he
the time
had
he showed
his
up.
he had his come to Moses moment.
Yeah.
At the end, right, where he kind of said, like, God has now given us the ability to go do this ourselves,
Exactly.
so let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, he gets it.
Yeah, he finally gets it.
That's
We
right.
need to do this. And so, yeah. And then Eugene, he realized,
Yeah.
I've got to, it can't be me
I
holding back and
always
saying,
get
I don't do
saved.
this.
Right.
And he told Rosita, and she said, you don't have to do this. And I disagree.
No,
I
he said,
do.
that is incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
I do have to do this.
Yeah. I was like, don't say it like that. Just go out
I
and cut
love
some
Eugene.
people.
He is awesome. I love his character.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Mullets will survive the
That's right.
apocalypse.
Yep. So, it came back with a huge deal, and Negan's guys are now destroyed, or at least that group.
Yeah, that could be one pack of
Oh,
many.
that's absolutely one pack.
Okay.
But what they did to them,
Oh,
I think, is going to cause Negan to have to come in full bore with
Yeah.
a huge deal. And something I saw online today, some people found in the background of that shot, right before Daryl blows the guys up with the rocket launcher, you can see in the background a car pull up, just the front of it. And something like that, the producers of Walking Dead have been really good about making sure no mistakes like that, like you don't see somebody in the background that you're not supposed to see.
Yeah.
You don't see a member of the crew, or you don't see a truck where it's not supposed to be. They're really good about stuff like that.
yeah.
So it's very possible that could be Negan or somebody from Negan's group who came up, saw that happen, and then that's how it gets back.
That's the connection.
Yeah. They realize they're in Alexandria, they follow them there, and that's when Negan comes in. Like I said, Negan is now, because they did this, he's going to have to answer with something big.
Well, oh boy. Okay, I just saw the clip, and there is a car.
There is a car back there.
But however, I don't know, because the car moves just before the explosion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there. There's legitimately
It's
a car in the back.
Yeah.
It's like a tiny little dot moving
Yeah.
along the horizon. But the
And
explosion.
kudos to these people who saw that,
I
because
know, like, damn, they must have super TVs.
yeah, a 60-inch 4K, so
Yeah,
they can
right.
lean all up on it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so and this show doesn't do stuff like that without having a call back, and so at some other point we may see the people in that car seeing it happen, and then they follow.
Well,
them.
you would just see for the alternate perspective, right?
Yeah.
The cloud of, I mean, it's a big,
Yeah,
big
They-
blow up,
as they
big
as they
explosion.
pull up, the explosion happens. They see this truck pull away, so they're going to follow at a distance because they know they now have teeth.
Right.
Basically, they're going to follow at a respectful distance, but they'll know where they go.
A respectful distance.
But they know where they go.
A self-respecting distance.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, they've proven this group can do some damage.
Oh yeah, took out a whole
Yeah.
pack, right?
Yeah, with
Maybe
a rocket launcher.
With a rocket launcher. Yeah, that's right.
So, I think it will come back as part of it later.
Cool.
So, and also the Daredevil trailer finally came out.
I haven't seen this yet.
It finally gave us a full look at the Punisher.
The
Not
Predator. I can't
That's
wait to see
It's
that.
a whole different one.
Really? And are you pleased?
I'm very pleased. Although
Good.
I think it's going to take a little bit to separate Shane from Frank Castle,
Oh, really?
because
Did they show footage of
him talking to Daredevil and saying, you're just one bad day away from me, from being me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he tells him, I'm doing what I do because I feel like you're operating in half measures
Oh.
because you're not doing enough, and I call you, and because he said, you're not doing enough, and you're a coward. He's calling him a coward because he's not killing people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he says back.
Yeah, this is gonna be really but it's
all right, but they're on this. They seem to be going towards the same. They realize they're both heroes,
so.
right?
Yeah, they have different approaches to it, but they are. I mean, they are going for the same result.
Different accents on the same language.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
that's great.
But
yeah, it certainly does remind you of Shane because he has that same intense delivery.
But is he like creepy and slow and like playing with his knife and stuff? Kind of back.
You don't see that much of it. You see him just a little bit, and he's got of course, it's the Punisher, so he's got this ginormous gun. And when he calls him a coward, he says, "I think you're a coward." So he does have that Shane kind of
like when Shane
accent.
and Rick would get real.
Yeah.
Is he Southern?
I don't know. I don't think he's supposed to be, but it reminds me.
That?
Yeah, it reminds me. Right. But and that may just be Shane being still stuck in my head. So, like I said, I think it's going to take an episode or two.
Okay.
To really divorce the guy John Barenthal from Shane.
The Walking Dead and then the Making Dead. Yeah.
Yes.
When does this air, Daredevil? Soon, right?
March.
Cool. So real soon? Yeah, I guess I haven't looked at our calendar.
I forget now exactly when it's premiered, but I think it is March.
Okay. And you've been keeping up with Jessica Jones, right? You said you caught
watched
a few more episodes.
I watched a few more episodes. I think I watched 2 more episodes. And so you get to see Kilgrave, her and Luke Cage. You know, continuing their relationship.
Yep.
Do
you see when he hires her?
No, I think that's the next episode.
Oh, you're getting up to that? Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's about to get good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get to see Patsy. I've seen Patsy basically call him out on the radio, and he calls in, and Jessica Jones is freaking out because it's actually him.
Yeah, right.
And he goes after Patsy. So, yeah, it's really good. I just have to. It's one of those things I have to find time to sit down and watch.
It's so worth it. Yeah. I'm trying to do it so when when Daredevil comes around, I'm kind of ready to
go.
Yeah, and I'm in that zone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But what else did we get out of Daredevil trailer?
We did see one shot of Elektra right at the end, and then it says part 2 coming in 10 days.
Okay, so
we'll have
teaser.
another one, which I figure will focus on Elektra.
Or have footage of her at least.
Yeah, but he comes back into his apartment. She's sitting in the chair, and he says...
Daredevil or Punisher?
Daredevil.
Okay.
And he says, "Hello, Elektra," and she says, "Hello, Matthew." Ooh. So they're old. They're an old item, basically. And now she's back. So I think when he was training to be Daredevil is where he ran into her.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Maybe she's from the gym or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
So, but nice. Yeah, part 2 will be coming. It said coming in 10 days, so we should have it this weekend, I believe.
Nice.
So.
All right.
And Star Wars Episode 8 is now in production. They released a teaser of Luke and Rey facing each other on the island, and Rey handing the lightsaber over. And you see that, like actually you see Luke's face, and the camera swings around, and you see Rey handing him the lightsaber. And then they call cut, and it backs out, and you see that you see the crew shooting everything.
Oh.
And then it goes to like the star field, and it says Episode 8 is now in production. So that was their way to announce that they're in production. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Teaser, yeah.
Yeah. And also Benicio del Toro and Laura Dern and a newcomer named Kelly Marie Tran have been cast. No word on what they were cast as.
So Laura Dern from like Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Wow. And Benicio del Toro from like every
the weird
badass
guy,
crazy movie ever. Yeah.
The weird guy in every badass movie.
He is always the weird guy.
Always the weird guy. So yeah, I have no idea what they will be cast as, but
wow, Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, it says a newcomer, so I doubt she's been in anything that anyone would know.
That's good. I like that they're using. I mean, I never knew of John Boyega or anybody before this, right? Or Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Kylo Ren, I knew. Yep. He was on Girls.
Okay.
On HBO, which is not seen by many, but some.
But some, yeah. Yes. And Todd McFarlane is working on a new Spawn movie.
Okay.
But he says it won't be a superhero movie, but rather a horror / suspense / supernatural film.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that twist. So it won't be so, well, I mean, it came out in the 90s, so it needed to be. But he can really let it be scary.
Yeah, and he is in a position where he can do what he wants. He's got the money. He's got the connections. He can release this movie on its own. It doesn't necessarily have to be a theatrical release. He can do what he wants, and that's
he can put it on Laserdisc.
Oh yes,
and just hit the market.
It'll go over great. But he has finished the script and he's working on whittling it down before he shops it around Hollywood. So he is gonna shop it around Hollywood. But I think that's the biggest thing is he's only gonna take the deal that he wants to take, and he's not gonna let anybody mess with it.
So is he gonna shoot it like a slasher film or something, or a horror type thing?
But it's definitely going to have a horror element.
But we want to like the bad guy. Is that kind of how he's going to do it?
Probably.
Or? So it's not so heroic where it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you read the series from the beginning, it was that way. He was. You shouldn't really like him, but you wanted to root for him.
Well, he's presented as the hero. Right?
Yeah.
It's like when
Jason.
He's
forced into a place that he doesn't want to be, but he has to be.
Right, and perpetuate it. Right, it's more badness. But he thinks, oh well, if I do it, it'll be the best or the most good badness, right?
Yeah.
Which is the psychological imperative.
Yeah.
But the thing that like when Jason or Freddy or Michael Myers would kill somebody that was doing a bad thing, like beating up a woman or or stealing or something, you were like, yeah, get him.
Yeah.
And that made those characters.
It's like the Punisher. The same thing could be said for him.
Right. He's the vigilante against bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's taking out bad guys, so you want to like him.
Yeah.
But he's brutal. He's absolutely brutal, and a lot of times his methods can cause
death,
collateral damage.
Yeah.
So, and that's part of the problem. So, or not part of the problem. If you ask me.
Well, they could spin off a Schwarzenegger movie, right? Didn't he have a collateral damage movie?
Did he? Was that?
I hope not.
Probably.
I hope I'm not invoking badness here.
Probably.
So, all right. So he can do whatever he wants. He's going to put it on Betamax, right?
Yes. That would
with
be
the Laserdisc mail-in, right?
That would be awesome.
And then you get the Spawn, Kenner action figure.
Yep.
You squeeze the legs, and he steals your soul.
Get the Spawn toothpaste.
The Spawndaroos!
That'd be awesome. But yeah, I'll be interested in what they come up with, because the animated series that was on HBO.
That was good.
That was and that was
really
boring.
dark. And
that was his baby there.
Nice.
The movie kind of got away from him.
Yeah, when that Violator clown, I was like, this is so bad.
The Violator is in the comics,
right?
But I think because they had John Leguizamo playing him, it got way too comical.
Funny, right? It was like he should have been a CG. He should have been like a Ridley Scott alien, or something.
Yeah, well, he did at one point. They did show his true form, didn't they, in the movie?
Well, yeah, he's the clown.
But he was
he's like the big mantis looking thing. With
that's his true form.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Leguizamo's Jimmy Stewart impersonation when he says every time somebody farts, a demon gets his wings. Yeah. That was pretty funny. I'll give him that.
All right, I'm glad you appreciated that.
That was like one of the few things that redeemed that movie. But
so
a good fart joke.
Supergirl has
a good
started
fart
filming.
joke does many things. Yeah. Yes, but now to Supergirl.
Has started.
They've started shooting the Supergirl Flash crossover.
Cool. And when is that scheduled for? When are we supposed to actually do that?
It's in March 25th, I think it's supposed to be.
Awesome. So that's a month away, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Well, I can't wait. I just got into Supergirl. I found a way, Timmy D, to watch the shows.
Awesome.
And they're great. And I can watch them with my kid, and she loves them.
Yeah.
And we're closing in. We got up to episode 9. Mm-hmm. And what'd you say there is now? 14?
I think 13 or maybe 12.
Okay. How many for the season?
They've got a full order of
what is that? 24.
24 is the usual
Okay.
full order.
Okay.
It may have been 20. I don't know exactly what they do. Let's see.
But it's perfect because after reading Countdown to Infinite Crisis, I really understand Maxwell Lord, and then seeing him in that show as the Lex Luthor type really made sense for me, because I was like, why, if he's like the manager of the Justice League, why is he so
Why is he
bad?
doing that? Yeah.
But you see, he's got that he's kind of like Luthor and Tony Stark meet, or like combined, right? Because he does all the super weapons and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 13 episodes now.
Okay, cool.
So why is that not showing up? They're not showing the 13th, but the 14th, episode 14, which is called Truth, Justice, and the American Way, airs next week.
Okay, because we had we didn't get a Supergirl this week because of the Grammys.
Yes.
Cool.
But last week's episode, for some reason, is not listed on here.
Which I watched.
It was the
who's the villain?
was it Everything a Girl Wants or something like that? When she had the
Oh, right.
delusion of Krypton,
And that thing was on her, that like alien
the
plant.
Black Mercy. That's
Black
what they
Mercy.
called it. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was the first episode I had actually seen on TV.
For the girl who has everything, that was it.
For the girl who has everything. And you said that was a play on an old Superman story.
That is a Superman story where the Black Mercy has him and he wakes up on Krypton, and that's the thing, they have to figure out that it's not real, and they have to want to come out.
Which right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember what's her name? Her sister Alex went into her dream, right, somehow, and was like, "You have to."
Yeah.
It was even for being out of sync. It was a great first episode.
Yeah.
You got a real sense of the
So
team.
you watched up through 9, which is
I forget what happened last.
it's called Blood Bonds.
Well, the Cat Grant Martian Manhunter shows Cat that Kara is Kara by shape-shifting into Supergirl.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I forget whoever he did. And that put that to rest.
Yeah, he became Supergirl.
So Kara could be herself.
So Kara could be herself, yeah. Which we saw the reverse last week, where Henshaw tried to be Kara.
Yeah.
And that did not go over well.
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
but I think it was
Yeah.
it was really fun because Melissa Benoist is having to act like
Two things.
him being her.
Yeah.
So she did a pretty good impersonation of him, with especially the walk. That was what killed me, because she had like the old, the
Brooding general. Yeah.
the ass kicker walk. So it was like, and she was walking like a dude. So, but yeah, it was very well done, I think, and it gave for a fun little time to see him out of his element, because he knows how to be Henshaw now. That's easy, no problem.
Right.
But trying to be Kara
And fake it. Yeah.
it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. All that awkwardness comes out.
Yeah, it was very much awkwardness.
Yeah.
So the ones you haven't seen are Childish Things with the Toy Man, Strange Visitor from Another Planet with the White Martian, and then Bizarro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
yeah,
I like the villains so far. I mean, Reactron was a cool villain.
mm-hmm.
And
And the
all
moment,
the Kryptonians are
oh
badass. I think,
yeah,
yeah,
of course.
That was really
and
cool.
the Red Tornado.
Oh, that was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, and with T.O. Morrow.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good job with that. I mean, it was very close to that Crisis story.
Yeah, and to see, for me, it was way cooler than I thought it was going to be, to see Red Tornado on screen just like he is in the comics. And
I know,
they kind of
really
explain,
spinning.
The bottom half
All
of his
his
body spins, so
Yeah.
that's what causes
Creates
that.
a vortex. Yeah.
And you have a little bit of suspension of disbelief, but it works.
I'm just sad they didn't bring in the Red Tornado's pet. Who's like the little Tasmanian devil. Yeah. Come on, Superman has Crypto, so Sorry, Crypto was in the Infinite Crisis story, by the way.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll get a new episode next week.
Cool. And then we're about a month away from the Flash crossover.
Yes. Next week is Truth, Justice, and the American Way, which is a play on the old TV show, the open of the TV show.
Yes.
Then the one after that is Solitude.
Ooh. Like the Fortress of?
Yes, I've seen pictures of it.
Oh.
Yes, she goes to the Fortress of Solitude.
Is she going to see Superman, or is she just going to like interact with the crystals?
I didn't see. She'll probably just interact with the crystals.
Okay.
But
are we going to get Zor-El
I think that would be
or Jor-El? Right?
That would be a huge deal if he's gonna show up. I think they'll promote the crap out of that.
Oh man, that would be cool. Yeah.
Because they want to stay. Obviously, they want to stay away from that. They've danced around it. You see the blurry image of him.
And shadow and the text messages.
The text messages.
By the way, that is the most Doogie Howser moment ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the text message because they even put like a little dreamy synth. It's like let's wind down things.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Cara?
How you doing?
Give me a call.
Oh yeah.
If you need me.
That is very Doogie Howser. So.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
Sorry.
But hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get a new one, new Supergirl next week.
But how about Flash this past week?
Oh, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Didn't this one get the highest rated viewed episode since the first episode? Since the pilot?
Yep.
Well, it was worth it. It was
such
a good episode.
And obviously, this is a big thing they've been building up to. They're going to Earth 2.
It was great. I mean, it was exactly what you thought it should be.
Yeah.
The way Earth 2 should look.
Did you notice at CCPD, the sign, I forget what
it's society instead of
a true and just society.
That's right.
So Justice Society.
Yeah.
Which Earth 2 is the home of Justice Society.
That's a good Easter egg.
Yeah, it was a nice little. Oh, there was Easter eggs all over this thing.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, even we were talking to Supergirl. I think you had even mentioned it. One of Maxwell Ward's special doors was room 52.
Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah,
it's like,
52 is seated all through these shows everywhere.
Yes.
But yeah, when we're going through the multiverse, we saw Supergirl.
That's right. We saw little images of the things flying through space.
Yeah, and it's the same thing last year where we saw the glimpse of Killer Frost,
right,
and Barry in prison, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I guess not.
So
yeah,
and they don't do those things lightly.
No. So
all that stuff will come back. But we saw John Wesley Shipp in the Flash suit.
We did. That was one of the. What were the other things you said? You saw Legionnaires
John Wesley,
ring?
John Wesley Shipp, Flash, Supergirl, Gorilla Grodd, Jonah Hex. I had to look that one up because when I first looked at it, it looked like Indiana Jones because the hat.
The hat. Yeah.
But that was Jonah Hex, who's going to be on Legends of Tomorrow. We saw a Legionnaire ring.
Right. So Legion of Superheroes.
Mm-hmm. So they had, and Berlanti had said that he felt like at some point, and he knows. So if he says he feels like at some point the Legion will show up, then they're going to show up.
Yep.
So again, I think probably that may happen on Supergirl because she has an established connection with the Legion because she was part of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was part of the Legion.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so I think probably at some point she will run into them. But we got Gorilla Grodd, who the last time we saw him, he was sent to Earth 2 to Gorilla City.
Right.
So I feel sure that's going to come back at some point. Jonah Hex, like I said, is going to be in Legends of Tomorrow. And we saw an alternate Green Arrow.
Oh, right, with the beard?
No,
with
it
the
was
goatee,
no, it was a different guy. It wasn't Ollie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a different guy.
Wow.
But and we'll talk about this on Arrow, or I'm sorry, not Arrow, but Legends of Tomorrow. They're going to be visiting 2046, and Stephen Amell is going to play Ollie, an older Ollie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking here that so we see the day Nora died, and the first time Barry travels through the Speed Force. Mm-hmm. Killer Frost, as you said, Trial of the Flash, the Legends of Tomorrow. We did see the Flash Museum, and then the day that Nora Allen dies. So of those, right, we still haven't seen the Flash Museum or the Trial of the Flash.
But we might get that on Legends of Tomorrow because if they're in the future, they'd see the Flash Museum.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But Joe, we'll just call him Joe 2 because he's Earth 2's Joe.
Yeah.
Joe
He's
2
a jazz
died.
singer.
He's a jazz singer. Yeah. Which Jesse L. Martin.
Is he really a singer?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And he's very good.
He was pretty good.
Yeah,
they were like, he's the best in town.
And he's, they wanted to come up with the something else for him to do because Iris was going to be the detective.
Yeah.
So why not? Give him a chance to sing.
That's
right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Barry too is a weenie.
He's a schlemiel.
He's
a giant, big nerd.
He's
yeah.
a weenie.
Giant weenie.
But
yeah.
Cisco met his
Ooh.
doppelganger.
Reverb,
Reverb.
right? Who was dark.
Yes.
He was like a real ringleader. He was like sort of a lieutenant above Frost and Deathstorm.
And he had complete control over his powers.
Totally.
And it's one of those things where he offered, hey, you come with me, I'll show you. He just
Very
basically
Kylo Ren,
like,
yeah.
Kylo Ren or Darth Vader in Cloud City.
Right, you need a teacher.
Yeah.
I will show you.
But now that he's seen he can do that, Reverb is now dead, but so he won't be able to teach him. But he's seen that he can do it, so he'll work on it.
Right.
It may be one of
He
those
knows
things
what's
where, like,
possible.
I read somebody say that it's kind of like when you see Tony Hawk do the first 720. Other people realize, oh, hey, that can be done.
And they all go home and try
So they
it.
start doing it.
That's
yeah.
right.
So, so I think that will come around to where that's where he comes into his powers completely.
I can't wait.
Henry Hewitt and Floyd Lawton were both on Earth 2, but they were good people. Floyd Lawton's Deadshot.
Oh, yeah.
He even had the nickname
He was like an idiot.
Deadshot
Yeah,
because
he's an
he's a
idiot.
horrible shot.
Yeah.
And Henry Hewitt was a lab assistant. Henry Hewitt was the guy who they tried to combine
with Firestorm, and he went rogue,
and he went
right?
bad, yeah.
Yep.
But he was and watching Barry and Cisco kind of freak out and almost like Scooby and Shaggy holding on to each other.
Yeah, right, when they see them.
Yeah, it was almost like that. That was actually really funny.
That was.
If you caught it, Earth 2, Central City or Keystone City is where this is. They talked about Mayor Snart.
Yeah. Is it going to be his dad? Or will
I don't
it
know.
be... Well, because
Could be him.
Leonard
because
is out of the timeline.
He's out of the Earth 1 timeline.
Oh, are they going to play it like that now?
They could.
Okay, I guess so, right?
They
Because
could,
time
yeah.
is a constant in each
In
universe.
each one. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, that could get real confusing.
Yeah, that's going to hurt my brain.
The CCPD had the plaque that said "A Free and Just Society." The Justice
That was a good
Society,
one.
obviously.
Good Easter egg. Yeah.
Barry's speed dial at home when he calls his mom.
Yeah, who was on that?
His speed dial said, "Dad was at the top, then Mom and Dad." So I assume that's Joe, and then Henry and Nora, his
Okay.
mom and dad.
Right.
Then Eddie, Bruce, Hal, and Diana. Now those were confirmed to be nothing but Easter eggs. They're not
was
going to come
Eddie
back.
Thawne? Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Would assume so.
Okay, right. 'Cause
But
he
yeah,
would be
they
alive,
were
yeah.
the Bruce, Hal, and Diana were confirmed to be just little Easter eggs to make nerds go woo.
Aw,
And
come
it
on.
worked.
Yeah, it did.
It worked.
Woo!
And like we said, this week's ratings were the highest since the pilot. And they've also announced that Pied Piper will return.
Oh, wow. Was he
So-
the first villain? Or who?
No, he was.
second?
It was like second or third
Okay.
episode.
I remember like
Because
going.
the first one was
oh,
Weather Wizard,
Yeah.
who died, and then his brother came back
Right.
and became the Weather Wizard. So, but yeah, tonight we see. Well, the episode ended with Barry captured by Zoom.
I know. And held in a cage. Yeah, with his mask off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he knew who he was anyway. So.
Yeah, it didn't.
So this week, Barry 2 and Harrison and
They have to go save Barry one.
yes, and the one little scene that just killed me is they find his lair, and as Cisco says, he's a bad guy. He's got a lair. I'm calling it a lair.
Yeah.
They find where it's at, and it's like up on like a mountainside. And Barry 2 is like, "Oh, I'm wearing loafers. I don't have good traction." So he's such a
Oh,
weenie.
man. And then we saw Jay use the Velocity 7 formula.
Yes.
And he went like Hadouken, right? And he made his
that
helmet.
was awesome.
Is that a real thing he can do? Have you ever
I-
seen him do that in the comics?
I guess just the vibrating the helmet.
It would be like a drum.
Yeah.
like a vibrating drum. Yeah.
I don't think I've
That
ever
was
seen him
super
do that.
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And then somebody said like, "Whoa,
Joe.
that's cool." Yeah,
Joe
Joe was
said,
like,
yeah.
"That's new."
That's a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool
Yeah.
part.
So I think the Velocity 9, when it finally gets to that, will be how Barry gets how Jay gets his speed back.
His groove back. Yeah.
Yeah, gets his groove back. Yeah. Yeah, so tonight we get to see the second half of Earth 2 and see what they do with Zoom and see how they
should call the episode "How Garrick Got His Groove Back."
Yes. Well, I think
Got that.
Caitlin's
There
how
you
he
go,
gets his
Greg.
groove back, but
Yeah.
but we'll see that tonight. Then on Arrow,
Yeah, another good
Malcolm.
episode.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Malcolm was defeated by Ollie
I know.
to get the Lotus, and he cut his hand off. That was pretty substantial. And
Surprised he didn't kill him. I thought he was gonna, but he didn't want to be responsible for
Exactly.
killing Thea's dad. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So he did what he had to do. He needed the ring, and he defeated him if he cut his hand off, and he took the ring and gave it to Nisa.
Yeah.
And then Nisa,
Why did she do this?
she disbanded the league.
I thought she was gonna like totally just take power and
Yeah.
reign and be, killer and.
I don't know. I mean,
Dang, we
but
need the league.
but it also it leaves the question. Okay, it's a league of assassins. They're not just gonna go away.
No.
They're still there.
Yeah.
So I think at some point we'll have to deal with the remainders of the League of Assassins.
League of Legends.
Yes. So I think that will come back around.
Okay.
But I think it was a really good end result.
Yeah, that was a
for,
big.
For Ollie he had to come up with some way to do this.
Right.
He needed the Lotus to save Thea.
So is Thea good or is she?
I think she's fine now.
Okay. I didn't see it. Did they bring the Lotus to her at the end? Did they?
I believe so.
Because it was that liquid, right?
Yeah,
That blue liquid.
that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, so she got. I think she's because she woke up. I remember that now.
And her lust is gone.
She was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the
Or-
thing is, they said that John Constantine made Sarah whole, so she didn't have the bloodlust, but she's exhibited it on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, she beat the crap out of some guy.
Yeah.
Like kicked him in his face 10 times. Well, beat him down while laying on him.
But was that the bloodlust, or was that just
Sarah.
her
being-
training?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, she went hardcore
So
for a
it could
while.
be, yeah.
On that ship with that
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
So maybe that wasn't the Lazarus Pit doing that. Maybe that was just her with anger issues.
Pit. Yeah.
So-
The fight pit.
Exactly, yeah. And they've also said that Amy Gumanik will return as Cupid
Yeah.
on the 16th episode airing in March, which I thought that was awesome because she was in love with Ollie, and
Yeah.
it just drove him crazy. And,
Well, 'cause she
and
would-
having to deal with it,
Right.
it made everything fun on the show. And now he's with Felicity.
Oh, right. Well,
That
even
could be
Nisa
really
was like,
interesting.
my husband. And he was like, I'm not your husband.
Not your husband. Knock it
Yeah.
off. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Dude. So yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Then Legends of Tomorrow, this week's episode, they're in the heights of the Cold War. Well, actually, that was last week's episode. I wrote that last week because they
Right.
broke into the Pentagon, and it didn't work out well.
No.
And apparently a picture has been released showing from the future one of the buildings that is burning is Smoke Towers.
Oh, that's
So
ironic, but it's
maybe
her
she-
name, right? Felicity's name. Yep.
Maybe she changed the name of Palmer Technologies to Smoke
Oh.
because she has taken over the company. So
And Ray's
Ray's gone.
gone.
Ray's out of the
Yeah,
timeline now.
He's out of the timeline. Ray's never existed.
So maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this week's episode will be on Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, we did say one thing we forgot to mention was Felicity spoke to her mom about the dad and being the calculator,
Oh yeah.
and the mom got real like whoa, like
Yeah,
dark,
because she's always kind of flighty and
and then she got stern. Like
Yeah,
I've never
she got-
seen her act that way
Yeah.
ever. So that was like a very intense and cool moment. I mean, I was like, well, then this guy's obviously more dangerous than we think.
yeah. This week's episode is called Failsafe. Snart leads a rescue mission when some of the team members are captured. Okay, this is the second half of this story.
Okay.
The people were captured at the height of the Cold War. Rip assigns a secret side mission to Sarah, which could be a dangerous liability, which she is.
She is. Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, that is this week's episode. The next week is Star City 2046.
Oh, cool.
So we get to see.
Star City's where the Legion's from. Oh no, that's where Arrow.
It's Arrow, yeah.
2046.
Yeah, so they
Wow.
go forward in time. It's a malfunction sends the Wave Rider into Star City in 2046, where the heroes are faced with a surprising version of the future. And Sarah receives devastating news.
Well, it might be that one of her family members are dead.
They're dead, yeah.
Yeah.
So we maybe Laurel.
That'd be awful.
That would be.
But I feel like at one point, right? This is the Canary's thing, is that there's like she's almost an archetype. It's not always like the one person, and that was never clear in the comics. And I think they're gonna maybe deal with that here.
Maybe.
Like keeping her out of time, she's always young, right? Forever young.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she, we will. They did say Stephen Amell will play Ollie, without or not. He lost an arm at one point.
Oh, and then this was you were saying was a reference to
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he was missing an arm, and he blamed Clark. They never really said why he was missing an arm, but he blamed Clark, and that's why he helped Bruce fight him.
You didn't listen.
That's right. They just don't listen.
You didn't change Crypto's bedding and bowl. So that's what happens.
So yeah, and we also get to see Connor Hawk.
Oh right. Well,
Ollie's
you
son.
named him that, right? They haven't called him that.
No, they
officially?
called him that.
Oh, he's Connor.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. You called him, man.
They called him
Nice
that
work.
in the Legends of Tomorrow. So
Cool.
it may not be the kid we know. And speaking of, at the end of Arrow, Malcolm went and sold Ollie out to Damien Dark to get back at him.
Right.
To
for
tell him,
taking his hand.
yeah, if you want to kill, and that's maybe who's in the grave, the boy, Ollie's son.
Oh, that would be dark.
Yeah, it'd be really dark.
Oh, yeah.
But that would explain why Felicity wasn't wearing her ring, because if she gets pissed off at him when she finds out he's got a son again, and the same thing happens as happened before, she gets pissed, breaks up with him,
Yeah.
but then Damien Dark kills the boy,
That's when
and she
says,
goes,
"Let's
"You got to
kill."
go kill the son of a bitch."
Yeah. Oh man.
That might explain that. So
Wow, that's gotta be so good.
that's that would be a dark choice to make.
They're always
that would
they got these stunners that come out of these shows, man. It always makes them so
Get you.
good.
Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn confirmed that Thanos is not in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
So Thanos is going to be an ongoing thing in the Marvel movies.
But not yet.
It's not going to be.
Drop him soon, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what one was at the end of it? He showed up and said, "I guess I have to do it myself," and he grabbed the gauntlet. Which movie was
one
that?
of the most recent movies.
Is that Civil War?
I think it was at
Not
the end
Civil
of
War.
not Winter Soldier. It was at the end of Ultron.
Oh, okay,
Avengers.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was okay. Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna be. I guess the Infinity War. Obviously, he's gonna be.
He'll come out. I'm sure he'll make a appearance in one of the
end
movies
credit.
before.
The end credits
Yeah,
scenes
yeah.
will probably show up. Also, Ash versus the Evil Dead has been renewed for a second season on Starz,
Oh, good.
and they have added Lee Majors in the part of Brock Williams, Ash's father,
Oh God.
and Ted Raimi, who is San Raimi's brother, as Chet Kaminsky, Ash's childhood best friend.
Oh my God.
That
Have you watched this show yet?
I have not. No,
I
I need
haven't either.
I need to get a hold of it because it's on Stars. I don't have it, so I
Oh.
need to see if I can. I don't know how soon they put it on Hulu,
Huh. Good luck. I'll see if it's on here.
because Stars has a deal with Hulu, I believe.
Yeah,
to
there's a
do
couple
their
shows. A couple shows.
But I don't think you could get any better casting than Lee Majors as Ash's dad. That's gonna be
pretty
awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So,
Let's see. Can I search? Let's see.
are you on Hulu?
Yeah, I'm trying to log in here to see. All right, let's see.
While you're doing that,
Ash,
the
yes,
Predator
please.
has released an image for the upcoming sequel with the title character and the words, "You'll never see him coming." So they're making a Predator sequel.
Whoa.
I didn't realize this,
Wow.
but they are making a Predator sequel.
That'll be exciting. I mean, they did make Predator.
They did Predator 2.
Yeah.
And that one was in L.A. and had Danny Glover, I think, if I remember correctly.
It did. Yes. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm searching here, and apparently there's a movie that Tommy Chong is in called Evil Bong, and there's a couple of them. Evil Bong 1 through 3.
Of course.
And you guys see his face, like on the cover of the movie. He's like,
Oh boy.
he just looks like high and scared. Yeah, I'm not
Well,
seeing it
Tommy
on
John.
here. I'm not seeing it here on Hulu yet. It
Okay.
might still be. Well, if it's renewed for the second season, you know Hulu's
Yeah.
gonna want it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, I'll have to see if I can find a way to maybe. Does Stars have their own
Streaming service? I'm not
I
sure.
know HBO does, but I don't know that you can get HBO Go separate from an HBO subscription now.
Yeah, right.
So-
HBO Now. Yeah.
So I don't know if they may do that same thing, but
Okay. Look at your on-demand stuff. You
I'll
might
do
have Stars on demand. Believe it or
ooh,
not.
I might.
You
I
might.
thought about that.
Sometimes they have that stuff in there.
That would be pretty cool. That would be groovy, you might say.
Groovy.
Groovy.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Predator. Now that we finished that,
Yeah.
they released an image, and like I said, it had the title character, the Predator, and then the words, "You'll never see him coming." The treatment for the Predator is being handled by Shane Black and Fred Decker, and Shane Black is also probably going to direct. Black did Iron Man 3, which basically kills any hope that I had that this might be good.
Oh. Kill me!
Sorry.
A sequel! Kill me! Come on!
Yeah, I was hopeful up until that point
Oh.
when I found out he was responsible for Iron Man 3.
See what happens when you do research?
I know.
You just need to go in there blind. Like, hope this will be good.
I'll probably still watch it though.
Yeah.
So,
Too bad Black's involved. Shane Black's involved in this.
but they are also planning a big screen adaptation of Battlestar Galactica.
I'm so effing excited about this. Now, is this going to be from the new cast?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It doesn't really say.
Because it's been a while. I mean,
it says it's been in the works for a
6
while.
years since the show went off the air. I mean,
But it's been. I mean, there were rumors of it before the new show even came on.
well, that's good fertile ground to
Yeah.
do a reboot. It was one of the most iconic
Yeah.
sci-fi series. Didn't get as much play as the others, but you remember everything about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's in the works from Bluegrass Films, produced by Michael DeLuca, who produced 50 Shades of Grey and Dracula Untold.
Oh, 50 Shades of Grey.
So,
We're definitely going to see this.
Again, it kind of bumps down my expectations.
How do you go from Dracula Untold to 50 Shades of Grey?
Hey,
They're like,
Well,
you're
that's
good
the
at
thing.
dungeon scenes?
the producer in Hollywood is more of a money guy
Okay.
who kind of
Versus executive producer.
exactly
Right, which would be the person who gets the stuff done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not necessarily
Why do they tout producers? Like, this man threw money at this fire,
basically,
and it
yeah.
burned.
And they, I mean, because they're throwing money at it, they get to make decisions.
Yeah.
So some of the decisions do come from them, but the director is the main thing in Hollywood.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
They're the movie runner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Captain America Civil War trailer also was released during the Super Bowl. It was the most popular Super Bowl commercial on social media.
I didn't see this because I was crying about the Panthers.
At this point, I was flat on my back. I watched the Super Bowl in bed. I couldn't get up.
Yeah.
And I hadn't gotten to the doctor yet, so I wasn't even in a drug stupor. I was
You're
in
just
pain.
angry.
But you saw both teams, Falcon, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, and Captain America versus Black Panther, Iron Man, Vision, Black Widow, and War Machine.
Awesome.
And you also see a scene where he's taking War Machine's
Face off?
faceplate off, and he's at least unconscious and bruised inside. So we don't know if could Rhodey be
Done?
damaged? He may be dead. I don't know.
Dang.
But he was at the least he was unconscious.
Yeah.
So
Who was Cap was ripping it off?
no, Tony.
Oh, Tony. Oh, like
Yeah.
to save him.
Yeah, he was like holding him, and he takes it off, and he sees, and he looks up from there.
'Cause they're on the same side, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, War Machine and Iron
Follows
Man are
Tony.
there. Yeah.
Well, he controls the armor, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like Winter Soldier and Captain America.
Yeah, they've
been best buds
They gotta be.
for a long time. So
yeah, bro out. Yep.
yeah. Even though in 2 they fought over the armor
Pretty much,
or
yeah.
as Nick Fury put it, you let your best friend come in here and kick your ass and take your suit. So now Deadpool, of course, is out now. I
Yes.
haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I hope this weekend I'm going to get a chance to go see
I haven't either. So
it.
yeah.
But it's blowing up, and it's the biggest opening weekend for any R-rated movie
Ever or
yeah, I think so.
wow.
Any February movie, any movie by a first-time director, all these records that it's setting.
Best of the X-Men franchise.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look and see.
They would have said.
They would have said
They
if it
would've
was
said.
the biggest.
Yeah.
But it's only kind of slightly in the X-Men franchise. I think
But it's from the same
it's from the same
production.
world
Right.
basically.
Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But Ryan Reynolds says that he is 70% sure it wasn't him that leaked the Deadpool test footage on the internet. What exactly that means, I don't know.
70%.
And a sequel has been greenlit, and Cable will be in it.
Oh, there's already a nerd battle between.
Oh yeah, who should
Ron
play?
Perlman and the guy who is the dude in Avatar.
Yeah,
The general.
well, that dude is he's making his own case, and he's
Oh
yeah.
Well, I think people are offering out Ron Perlman because they
Yeah.
just think he'd look good.
I think it would, and I saw Kevin Nash
Oh.
holding up like a blown up cover of a Cable comic, and
Nice.
like pointing at it because he's got the silver beard now.
Yeah.
So he's like pointing at it, going, "Huh? Yeah."
See, I could do this.
Unfortunately, he can't act his way out of a paper bag, so
Oh.
he's not a good actor. I mean, come on.
Oh.
And it was announced that Johnny Depp will star in an Invisible Man reboot.
Oh, cool.
I think they're remaking all the old Universal monster movies.
Monster movies. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they're like combining because everything now has to be a
Well-
cinematic universe.
Yeah.
They want to have them all
Oh, connected.
connected.
Will this be Disney, or have to be Universal?
I don't know.
who
Yeah, it
does
would have to be Universal.
Because there's still properties of
Yeah, yeah.
Universal. They'd
Yeah.
never let that stuff go.
No way.
Yeah. Right.
And you've heard us talking about this movie coming out, Ready Player One,
Right.
based on the book by Ernest Cline.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of my favorite books over the last couple of years.
Nice.
Its release date has been pushed back to March 30th, 2018, to move away from Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh, good. 'Cause
Smart.
Star Wars is going to be pretty
'Cause
pretty
it's gonna be
bulky.
a bulldozer.
Yeah.
And Brian Fuller has joined Alex Kurtzman and Heather Caden as executive producers of the new Star Trek series.
Oh, cool.
Brian Fuller was a writer on Deep Space Nine and Voyager, so he's kind of coming back to Star Trek.
Cool.
That's a good idea.
That's Beyond, right?
No,
That's a movie.
the new series that
Right.
that CBS is doing.
They haven't given it a title yet?
No,
No. Okay.
no. And Gotham has released a picture of B.D. Wong as Hugo Strange.
He looks good.
Dude, he looks creepy.
He looks really good.
So creepy.
Yeah, like it's almost verbatim.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
He looked really with the thin
yeah, a little pencil beard.
jawline beard. Yeah.
He just needs that very brooding voice.
Oh, I'm
right?
sure he could nail it. I'm sure he
Yeah.
could nail it. Also, during the Super Bowl, X-Men Apocalypse trailer aired.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was better than the last couple ones that they've done.
I was blinded by the monkey baby
Oh, that
thing.
creeped me out.
Yeah, I couldn't look
I
at
wish
the
I
TV
had
after
been on
that.
drugs to see that.
Yeah.
But I actually was, like I said, I was in bed because I couldn't even sit up. So I was texting my wife, and when that aired, I was like, "What the blue hell was that?"
Yeah.
That's creepy. But also during the Super Bowl, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trailer.
I did catch some of this. Yeah. and
Yes.
Krang looks awesome.
Yes, you get to see Rocksteady, Bebop, Krang, Casey Jones, who is played by Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be great.
As far as I'm concerned, the turtles still look really creepy to me.
Oh.
They do. It's weird. I don't know.
Are they ever gonna look
Well,
great? I mean, like,
no, I guess not. But they just look crazy, almost nightmare-inducing.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm just looking at the guy who originally played Casey Jones in the original movie.
Oh, back in the
Yeah,
90s.
yeah. It was, what's his name? His name is Elias Koteas or Elias Kotis. Yeah, he was Casey Jones. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. Yeah, but he was good. He was like a kind of a goofy dude who's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bash your skull in." If you, yeah. Well, good. I'm glad Stephen Amell is there. He's a much better choice for that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got that during the Super Bowl, and I think that's all. Okay, it's finally the end of movie and TV news. I was trying to crank out through those last couple of ones to get moving. So, but that wraps up our movie and TV news. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we're going to talk about someplace we're going to be Saturday. Or actually, I'm going to be. Mike's not going to be there, but
I've got a bar mitzvah. I'm sorry.
Saturday, I will be in Morganton at the Morganton Comic Con. It starts at, I believe, at 11.
I believe.
I need to look that up.
This is up in Morganton, NC.
Morganton, North Carolina, up in the mountains. It's beautiful. I love the town. It's awesome. So you can come up there and see us, and I'm looking up to see when it starts. 10 o'clock. 10 to 5 on Saturday.
Cool.
At the Collette Street Recreation Center, 300 Collette Street, Morganton, North Carolina. So come out, check it out. I don't think there's been any big names as far as artists that are going to be there, but there's going to be a lot of cosplay. There's going to be a lot of vendors out there. Myself with Kapow Comic Arts, Jonathan Rosenbaum will be heading up with me.
Awesome.
To share the table right next to me.
Maja Nation.
That's right, yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The 501st will be there. The Star Trek Independent Fleet and the Klingon Assault Group will be there. So those guys are awesome. So that's
wow.
the Star Trek Independent Fleet.
I've never seen them before.
They're like the 501st for
Star Trek.
For Star Trek.
And then what, they have the Klingon group as well?
The Klingon Assault Group, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they're separate groups, but they kind of course, they work together.
Sure.
But yeah, the last time I was in Morganton for CatsyCon, the guy from the Star Trek Independent Fleet was there, and he was wearing the Star Trek II Wrath of Khan uniform, which
with
is,
the red top.
I think is the best one.
Yeah, that's your favorite with the little turtleneck.
Yeah, so like as soon as I was there, I was setting up and I looked. He was upstairs, so I looked up there and I was, I got to go talk to that guy because
he's got the right turtleneck.
That's right. Yeah. So, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Just come out to Morganton and see us and come by the table. If you let me know that you're a listener, I will buy you a Coke or something.
Whoa, Timmy.
I know.
You better stop at the drugstore and get an 18-pack.
Hey, it's a big deal. I understand, but hey. I'm willing
no
to
high
do it.
fives, no photo with Timmy.
Yes, I'll give
or
you
a
a high
sticker.
five. Yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
You're
I'll
like,
give you plenty of stickers.
We're just gonna go right to buying soda.
Dude, if somebody stands still at the table, I'm sticking a sticker on them.
Yeah. And if you talk to me, you're gonna do the do.
That's right. So, but yeah, it's admission's only $3, so it's cheap. You can bring the kids out and have a good time. So come out to the Morganton Comic Con and see us on Saturday. So now let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, for the comic rack, in the words of LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback. Well, he said don't call it a comeback. DC Comics is saying don't call it a reboot.
We've been planning this for years.
That's right. Jim Lee and Dan Didio both tweeted out updated Rebirth graphics that said it's not a reboot, and it never was.
This is that curtain, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's
not much information there.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
It's just
a bad Photoshop curtain and
just stop it. Stop.
Stop it. Stop
It's
it.
driving me crazy because they know that people are going, oh, another reboot. So now they're saying, oh, no, it's not a reboot. It's a rebirth. You can call it what you want, but it's still you're messing with things,
Man.
and trying to restart them, and it's just okay. Just do it.
I'm glad they didn't call it Afterbirth.
Yeah, that's
That could
still
get
to be
nasty.
determined.
That could get nasty.
That might be what we call it afterwards, but and they still haven't said like when it's coming, what's going to happen. There's
Might
rumors
be
running around.
early. Yeah, I mean, the summer is usually crossover time.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
There's rumors running around about what it may be, but we don't know right now. So,
Okay.
And Scott Snyder has somewhat confirmed his move off of Batman, but not really his. He's confirmed he'll be moving off of the Batman book, but not that he'll be moving to Detective Comics. So half of what was rumored, he's confirmed, but he won't say for
okay.
sure that he's going to Detective Comics yet.
Where else would he go?
He could go to do anything else.
Archie?
Nah, I doubt it.
Put out Spawn on Laserdisc?
Yes, he could do that. He could go work with Zack Snyder on Batman vs. Superman.
Oh my God!
Wouldn't that be awesome having two Snyders?
Or he could play Schneider on the remake of One Day at a Time.
There's a
If
reboot.
they reboot that, yeah,
They're rebooting everything.
yeah. Heard you got a leak.
So yeah, he could realistically, he's had such a successful run. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, right.
He can
Maybe it's
write
a good
his own
time
ticket.
to try something else.
Yeah, maybe.
New gods.
There we go. Even newer gods
Newer gods.
with new smell. Now there is an upcoming crossover. It's called Super League.
Oh,
It's going to cross over between Superman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Action Comics.
oh my God.
And that's going to lead us up to, I think, is going to lead us up to Rebirth or Reboot
Sure.
or whatever the hell it is.
Sure. Okay.
Because I think all that's going to happen right after all the original series get to 52. I think that's what the whole
that timing
thing
would
is
work.
there.
Good. Okay. All right. When are they thinking about doing this?
This starts in Superman. It starts with Superman 51. Then it goes to Superman, Batman, then Superman, Wonder Woman, Action Comics, and then ends in Superman 52.
Ooh.
So that's going to get all these series up to. It's an 8-part series, so it hits all of them twice and gets them all up to. Well,
Okay.
not all of them because Action Comics and Superman are at 52, but Batman, Superman, and Superman, Wonder Woman weren't one of the original
Okay.
series, so they're not there. But that will get them those original series up to 52, and I think that's where everything's going to happen.
Oh, cool.
But it'll also have the current Superman coming face to face with the pre-New 52 Superman.
This is what happens in Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, but not Earth 2 and Earth 1 Superman, but
Yeah.
oy.
So we'll see what happens there.
Oh, boy.
We know, the pre-Flashpoint Superman is in the series Superman and Lois. What is it called? The Adventures of Superman and Lois, or something. I forget now
Okay.
what it's called. But he is the pre-Flashpoint Superman.
He's
living
Infinite
here.
Crisis. He's surviving Superman of Infinite Crisis.
Yes, and he's living here. He was under the dome in Convergence. Thank you. So during the year that he was under the dome and didn't have powers, he had a baby with Lois. Now they basically just want to live by themselves, and they don't want to get in the way of this Earth's
Superman.
Kal-El.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing, but he can't not be Superman. So he has to, if he knows somebody needs help, he has to go help them. But he has to do it in a way that he's not seen as Superman. So because he doesn't want to step on this Earth's Superman.
I understand. Yeah.
So he's the non-jerk Superman. That unfortunately, the new 52 Superman is a bit of a jerk.
Yeah. I haven't. Yeah, that's on my list. As I move into newer things. I mean, the new 52s, I don't know. I feel like it's going to scare me and ruin things.
It does. It moves a lot of things around, and it rewinds everything. So then you have, okay, and Reverse Flash hasn't been introduced. Well, he does now, but Reverse Flash hasn't been introduced as a villain for Flash. Mm-hmm. Wally hasn't been introduced as a character. He has now, but that was the whole thing. Everything rolled back. So, okay, hey, we're going to get to see these things again. But the problem is we already have that in our heads. Yeah. It's already happened. So having it happen again is just weird. It's like, okay, the new issue of Flash, at the end of last issue, they arrested Eobard Thawne. And his whole thing was he wanted to make Central City not trust the Flash so that they would think he was the villain. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of it, he's like, but I won because they don't trust you anymore. Even though I'm in jail, they don't trust you. So I won. And now in this issue, the police have put together a task force to take down the Flash.
Oh, wow.
And they want their best forensic scientist,
Barry Allen,
to be part of the task force. And they're using some, I guess you'd say, freelance help. The Rogues.
Oh.
They're paying Captain Cold and the rest of the Rogues
to try and get Flash.
To help them take down Flash.
And this is New 52?
Yes. Yes, the issue that just came out. And
Lord.
I'm just thankful that the guy who was doing the art on the Flash is gone now, and there's a new guy doing art. Because the last guy was, so bad. Really? Everybody looked exactly the same. Everybody was blonde hair, blue eyes. And they all had the same facial expression all the time.
Crisis.
And it was almost, kind of, but it was
Flashpoint
so bad.
Face?
And everybody was rubbery. They didn't have like.
They weren't solid.
Yeah, they weren't regular, anatomically correct. They were all like Plastic Man or something. It was bad.
Like Adventure Time Flash.
Yeah, and that guy's finally moved on to something else. I'm happy. And in this issue, Wally is shown upstairs. Iris is getting ready to take him to school, and he's sitting in his room, and his hand is vibrating, like super speed.
So it's all blurry.
So he's just starting to realize he has powers. I don't know exactly how he got them.
Wow.
But they're introducing him as a speedster.
Cool.
So we're getting around to that again. So.
Yeah.
But it's weird with the New 52 because you're not, like I said, all this stuff has already happened to us. So now you're asking us to forget it and then retell it. So I understand you want to get new people in and tell new stories for these new people, but don't forget us.
Yeah, keep an ongoing series.
Yeah. I mean, we've been around longer than them, so we're still buying the comics.
That's right.
So
yeah,
don't forget about us. But the X-Men Apocalypse Wars is coming up, and I think it starts in April. I think it popped up in the solicitations for May. I'm sorry, May.
Cool.
But they've released a set of variant covers reimagining their most popular heroes as Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Oh, nice.
It looked pretty cool. They had Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, the Extraordinary X-Men, Howard the Duck, the Invincible Iron Man, Miss Marvel, Power Man and Iron Fist, the Punisher, Spider-Gwen, Thunderbolts, Totally Awesome Hulk, and Uncanny Inhumans will all have variants with them as Horsemen of Apocalypse.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen a couple here that, wow, these look good.
Yeah. And Marvel released a synopsis for the upcoming Mockingbird #1, which spins out of the S.H.I.E.L.D. 50th anniversary special. The series follows Mockingbird as she investigates a suspicious series of failed missions that suggest something is rotten in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s medical and recovery network. Her investigation uncovers a vast conspiracy, but can she stop those behind it? It comes out next month in March.
Hey, real quick thing on the new Apocalypse stuff. It's actually an homage cover to X Factor #6, which I think was one of the first appearances of Apocalypse.
Oh, cool.
Where his face is like rawr, screaming in the center.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Down
they've done
at the
it.
bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've done it with Archangel and a few other characters. They just remade it.
Yeah, he looked really weird on that cover. I remember because he doesn't look like the Apocalypse that we know now.
He looks like a Kirby character.
Yeah.
'Cause he's got crackle in his mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks weird. But Marvel will also debut a new series in May starring Daredevil and the Punisher.
Whoa.
Yes. No word on the creative team, but the series will be a long-form exploration of the Daredevil-Punisher dynamic. I think it says a long form, but looking at their May solicitations that came out today, it's a 4-part series, so it's going to be limited. But that's the story that came down last week that I wrote up before I got the May solicitations today. Said it was going to be a long form exploration of Daredevil Punisher dynamic, but it's going to be a limited series.
Okay.
So, but still, I mean, they can delve into
go
and
long time gaps. And stuff.
And it's the current Daredevil with his sidekick
coming back
Blind Spot.
from coming back from California.
Yes.
That
after the Secret Wars,
Yep.
he still has been disbarred, and now he's back. He's actually working at the DA's office instead of a defense attorney. But they acknowledge at one point he was disbarred, but everybody has forgotten that he was Daredevil, because that was the thing before Secret Wars. Everybody knew he was Daredevil. That's why he went to San Francisco,
right,
to kind of get away from that. I mean, even though they still knew he was that Matt Murdock was Daredevil, it just kind of got him out of New York City. But it was really bad. I think they had kind of written themselves into a corner, so they took Secret Wars to go, okay, let's pull that back in and clean that up a little bit. Nobody knows that he's Daredevil. Now we get back to what we can do. And yes, his sidekick now is a guy named Blind Spot.
Oh, that's rude.
But he has a suit that gives him invisibility.
Oh, cool.
And that was the thing. He was gonna go find Daredevil and ask him to train him, and he was gonna impress him by popping up next to him.
Ass, right?
Yeah, Daredevil, of course, saw him coming and whooped his ass. so he didn't quite make the impression that he wanted. But and the May solicitations that came out, like I said, that came out today. Captain America Steve Rogers #1 will come out. A new Punisher #1, a new Punisher series will start in May, and I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
Civil War 2 #0 will come out. All new, all different Avengers #9 will debut a new Wasp, which could be Hope Pym, which will line up with the movies.
Oh, nice.
And then, because that would, I think, is where the
Ant-Man?
that teaser that said beware her sting. Yeah,
totally.
So, and then Spider Women Omega #1. This will be Spider Woman, Silk, and Spider Gwen.
Oh,
so Spider Woman and Silk are on this Earth,
right?
And Spider Gwen is on her separate. Although they still teleport to the other worlds and hang out. So I guess they're going to have a series.
Nice little
They'll fix that at some point. I think something, either Spider Gwen will come to this Earth, although there's plenty of Spider people already here.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little weird.
And it's fun to see all the alternates unfold. They want to make her too mainstream too quickly.
Yeah.
They just like her a lot. It seems like.
Yeah. She was huge when it first came out, and I think it surprised him. Edge of Spider-Verse #3, I think 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Was where she first appeared,
Yeah,
and it blew up.
Yep.
And I think it caught them by surprise. So they
thought an alternate universe story maybe.
Yeah. And it's kind of like Deadpool now. There's like 4 different ongoing Deadpool stories right now.
Yeah.
They're hitting it while it's hot. But you don't want to push towards the bubble to burst. But Spider Women Omega #1 with Spider Woman, Silk, and Spider Gwen will come out in May. Star Lord #7, which features both, like the star of the Star Lord series now is Kitty Pryde as Star Lady.
Right, Shadowcat, old Shadowcat.
Yeah. This one will feature Peter Quill and her.
Oh.
The Star Lord and Star Lady, and see how that works out. Somehow I don't think, going on a mission with your ex is going to be a good idea.
Yeah.
Then the Daredevil Punisher #1 of 4 that we were talking about earlier. Then Gwenpool number 0. This will be reprints of Howard the Howard the Duck backup stories that she originally showed up in. It's like, I think issue 1, 2, and 3, where they had like a backup story for Gwenpool.
Oh wow.
That's going to reprint those, and her regular series starts in April, the month before this.
Again.
Yeah. So again, like that was a variant cover they did. It was just a variant cover, and they went, "Oh, here's Gwen Stacy as Deadpool," and again, it blew up.
Oh, everybody loves that. Yeah, Gwenpool. I've seen cosplay of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they started a new series. They will start a new series in April. So then in May, this reprint of the Howard the Duck stories will come out. Then Daredevil number 7, Elektra is back in New York. So this will be the first post-Secret War appearance of Elektra. So we'll see where we're at with that. Then all new X-Men number 9 will be the start of the Apocalypse Wars crossover.
Right.
Then we've got Deadpool Massacre number 1. This is a reprint of Deadpool Tres Punto Uno, which was a Spanish language comic that they did a couple months ago.
Yeah.
In, as they put it, poorly translated English. So as they said,
awesome.
Because you're too lazy to go out and get it translated, we'll put it out for you in poorly translated English. So. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of jokes in that.
Oh, I bet it's
going
to be awesome
too.
Yeah.
So, now the January sales charts are in, and here's a shock: Marvel just killed everything.
Always.
Marvel is 48.17% unit share to DC's 24.02% unit share.
Wow.
And then I forget. I think Image was like 11.
And what, IDW
11%.
Or who else would be the?
After you get Marvel, DC, Image, and then right behind Image, there's like a bunch of people clumped up at 4 or 5%. Not enough to really point out. I mean, Image doesn't even get close to DC, and DC is far behind Marvel.
Man,
so,
all right, well that's good. At least they're building some market share.
The top 10, the number 1 selling comic in January, Walking Dead, number 150.
Well, you knew that, right? It's a huge issue.
It's a huge issue, yeah. 2 is Secret Wars number 9. 3 is Spider-Man Deadpool number 1. 4 and 5 are Star Wars 14 and 15.
Nice.
Number 6 is Old Man Logan number 1. 7 is Star Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin number 1. 8 is Batman number 48. The perennial lone appearance of DC in the top 10 is Batman. 9 is Darth Vader number 15. 10 is Uncanny X-Men number 1. And the graphics novel were all Marvel in the top 10. So, and I think that's why we keep getting all this stuff from DC, is they're addressing that. They're getting their asses handed to them.
And they have great artists. They have great characters. It's not like, and like, frankly, I'm more attracted to DC stuff now. Like I don't know. There's too much going on. There's too much going on in the like, because now Marvel's starting their multiverse stuff. It's like, or they're into it, I guess. And I feel like they like basically had the ball. They were running towards the end zone, and they fell down at the 5-yard line with Secret Wars, with the extension into issue 9. I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean,
and I read 9, and I don't really know exactly what the hell happened.
Yeah, why they needed to extend it? Why couldn't they have wrapped it up, ahead of time? In 8.
And like but even more, it's like, okay, I'm not quite sure what the hell happened at the end. What I haven't. Do we have one Earth? Do we have a multiverse again? And where are the Fantastic Four? They kind of glanced over that.
That they were supposed to be the triumphant return, or
no, not really.
Yeah.
I still don't know, and maybe I missed something. I don't know. Maybe I was already cranky when I read it, and I didn't get what they were doing. But if we have to wait this damn long for it, and you tack on an extra comic,
and it's not good,
then damn it better be.
Yeah,
and
Right.
If it don't,
It
it better
be
blow
excellent.
me away.
Yeah, right.
And it don't. I mean, it hit number 2 on the top 10. So obviously it sold well.
Well, because everybody wanted to know the stunning
Everybody wanted to
conclusion.
know. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to see what happened. But I wonder how many people were satisfied with it after they bought it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were. I tried.
Yeah.
I was more interested in the DC stuff, frankly.
Yeah.
So
that was my real problem. It got to where it was so long in between. It's like, okay, I don't know if I remember exactly what has happened. So I just waited for 9 to come out.
So you could read it all in one go.
Read it all in one.
Oh, there's so many, and they would try to give you like here's what happened, and it never worked.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah.
Yes, and they do that. Marvel does that at the beginning of all theirs. They have like a little blurb to tell you.
Right.
Which
is smart.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes a
I wish
lot
they
of
would
sense.
call
And
me to do that.
And a lot of times there's it reminds you of something. Again, it's been a month since you read it. You kind of need that little reminder.
Chart, or like at least what's going on and for the overall story. That's good. It's kind of like Star Wars, like how Star Wars does it.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in that every image has
scroll,
that. Yeah, and you get to find out what's going on.
Yeah. So, but it'll be interesting to see how the rebirth does, whether it helps DC to get back into the top 10, how it does. But I think the biggest thing they can do to get themselves back in the top 10 is just write good stories. Stop messing with the rebirth and the reboot and and all this other crap.
Just come up with something.
Just write good stories.
Put people on good missions.
We'll buy it.
Right.
We'll read it. We want to. We want you to put out stuff that's good that we want to read. Just do it.
I wish Darkseid War was better. That would have been such a great overarching series, but they made it a crossover, which I hate crossovers.
Gimmicks. And that's the thing. The fallback is always, sales are down, let's go to gimmicks. The crossovers, that's a gimmick. The variant covers, that's a gimmick. All this stuff is just gimmicks. And stop with the gimmicks and just write good, compelling stories. Quit screwing around and just write good stuff we want to read.
Right. And usually the miniseries is a good way to do stuff and get crossover type things.
Yeah.
I mean, going on. I mean, I feel like when I read a good crossover story or a good sort of unifying like Crisis, that sort of thing, I want to go and pick up the other ones. After I read Convergence, I read almost all the other Convergence spin-offs, and I got into Black Canary and Dr. Fate as a result. And I love those series.
I'm a little worried about Dr. Fate.
Yeah, is it getting a little...
Not doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I enjoy it.
They kicked it off really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to, it's starting to drag a little bit. I think it needs to move along because they're in like issue 8 or 9 or something like that.
Just about, and they're still revealing little things here and there.
You need to get a move on. You need to.
He's had a couple good demonstrations of power.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
But I think 9 issues in, he shouldn't be still at the I don't know, should I be doing this? Or I'm just a kid. I'm just you shouldn't be at that point anymore.
He should have known like when his dad got in trouble.
You should move past it. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a little late to be at that point now.
Yeah.
But its sales are not doing very well. It's like over 100 in the list.
Oh.
So I'm a little worried about it.
Come on.
It'd be nice if it would continue though. I'd like to see him in the full-on classic Dr. Fate.
Right. Kent's blue.
Kent Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue and yellow. Like really. I mean, the helmet's
really
cool.
Yeah.
But like really take it to where he looks like himself but maxes out.
Yeah, he fully accepts the mantle of Dr. Fate and is the way he needs to be.
He wears the belt. And does the
So, but that is a spin of the comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to explore the multiverse with part 2 of the Infinite Crisis.
Hi, I'm Louis Black, and I'm a big supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and its mission to cure CF. People ask me, Louis, what's your personal connection to CF anyway? Well, I don't have one. I'm just passionate about finding a cure. The CF Foundation has made amazing progress. People are living longer, healthier lives today because of innovative new treatments made possible through the foundation. But that's not enough. We need a cure, and we need it yesterday. The progress we have made is a direct result of the dedication and donations of folks like you and me. There's still more that needs to be done. Oh, no. I knew it. He wants our money. Well, yeah. I feel like an idiot for asking, but aren't you just going to throw some of it away each week on something stupid? So why not throw some of it our way? You'll feel better about yourself, and I won't have to come to your home and yell at you. Support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help make CF stand for Cure Found.
Now, it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Now, it's our Exploring the Multiverse segment where we started many moons ago, back at the first instance of the DC Multiverse, the Flash of Two Worlds in Flash 123, and we've traveled all the way up through every time they've crossed over and
the vibrational barrier
through the vibrational barrier into the misty borderland between the Earths and visited, and now we're up to part 2 of the Infinite Crisis. So take it away, Michael.
So the lovely thing about this segment is I'm basically the idiot abroad, jumping through these comics, and I gotta say that this story has been really captivating.
It was a good one.
It was a really good one. Jeff Johns knows exactly what he's doing. There's obviously some Grant Morrison input on this, and then we also have I found out a lot of covers and illustrations by George Perez throughout the whole book, and Jerry Ordway, Phil Jimenez. So it's a really well taken care of book. So this was 0506 where we sort of last left our heroes. We got up to issue 3, and that basically there's this crazy thing going on where the OMAC project is going on and sort of run amok. Brother Eye, who's the creation of Batman, is sort of in control of this evil army, and things are really feeling crisisy. And then also to boot, the Ron Thanagar War is going on. There's also a Villains United group.
Now, was that like artificially started, or was that just something that happened to go at the same time?
The Ron Thanagar War was artificially started to create chaos in the universe.
Yeah.
Which we find out later.
Okay.
But basically what we've got up to now is the folks from Crisis who went into their own pocket universe, Alexander Luthor, Superboy Prime, Lois Lane of Earth 2, and Superman of Earth 2 all lived in this crystal world, and they watched basically the one Earth, the one verse in the DC world, just go amok. I mean, all the bad stuff after Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, heroes started doing bad things, and they just were sitting there and just didn't like it, right? So they wanted to figure out how to get out. So lots of crazy stuff going on. We had a couple of deaths that were from the Earth, I guess what are they? Earth X characters, Black Condor, Phantom Lady, and the Human Bomb are killed, and a few others. But now we start at issue 4, which is called, hang on a second, it's called Homecoming. And this is where things get really interesting.
Cool.
So after Alexander Luthor and Superboy Prime watch the Brotherhood of Evil drop Chemo, who's the character Chemo, who's basically like just a container of chemical waste and nastiness.
I used to know a wrestler named Chemo, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, all right. Well, he kind of does an off-the-top rope type of move. You'll see in the comic. It's really awesome. But they drop the Society of Supervillains drop him on Bloodhaven and basically just destroy it. I mean, like almost 1 million people die.
Yikes.
I mean, it's nasty. So now Luthor turns his attention to Power Girl, who they have captive, who's now strapped to a giant machine that she discovers, to reveal that her and that he and Superboy Prime have been manipulating things for quite some time. So Power Girl doesn't remember what happened during the crisis, and they're trying to sort of jog her memory. They want her on their side, and we'll get to sort of understand why. So we find out that Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor caused the Ron Thanagar War. They caused the Spectre to destroy all magic-based super beings using the secret society of supervillains to gather heroes for the machine, and they reprogrammed Brother Eye and the army of Omax. So that was really cool. Brother Eye is a really interesting part of this story.
Yeah, that was...
what was that from? What was that
I don't know. I'd have to look that up and see, because Brother Eye is the big villain in Batman Beyond. And there's one part in the first couple issues of Infinite Crisis where Nightwing is standing on a rooftop, and he looks up, and all the Omacs are like basically blocking out the sky.
Right.
And it's the caption said, looking up into a sky filled with perverted inventions of his mentor. So basically, this was something that Bruce invented.
Bruce created Brother Eye. Yeah. Because you'll hear later when Bruce gets onto the satellite where Brother Eye is, like the Brother Eye entity, he calls him Creator. Yeah. So this gets really cool. So they also, while they're out there, after they reprogram Brother Eye and the army of Omacs, which basically act as like the parademons, they also find the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, and they recover it.
Nasty.
Yeah. And then we now see in the same scene with Luthor and Power Girl, he zaps her until she is silent, and then lets Superboy Prime go deal with Connor Kent. Right. So now
that's the current Superboy.
The current Superboy, who lives in Kansas and with Uncle Jonathan. Yeah. So now outside the destruction of Bloodhaven, Batman contacts Nightwing to get his help and to show him what his black box has recorded regarding the structure of the Watchtower, to tell him that Superman is in league with a Luthor and a Superboy for the purpose for saving somebody he loves. So basically, Superman of Earth 2 wants to save Lois. Lois is dying, right? So they start to realize now that they're hatching a plan that they want to recreate Earth 2. So Alexander Luthor says, I will give you Earth 2, Superman, if you help me, right? And he's starting to now get all these people together. So this is really cool. This is where we get the multiverse back. Nightwing then, to get a message out, he decides that he's got to go. He has a great chat with Bruce. Bruce even says, like, do you remember the good times? Like, were they good for you? And Dick turns and says, yeah, they were the best, right? Which is a nice touch of a moment there. So Nightwing goes to Titan's Tower to send out a distress message to everybody else to let them know what's going on, that basically Bloodhaven's destroyed. I mean, completely destroyed. There's no way it's going to survive. So now in El Paso, Texas, Booster Gold visits Jaime Reyes in his bedroom in order to find out where Blue Beetle's scarab is. So he's like looking through, Skeets is scanning the room and everything to check it all. But basically he finds out that the scarab has fused to Jaime Reyes' spine.
Yeah.
Making it impossible to extract it.
You can't get rid of it,
Yeah. So now in Smallville, Superboy Prime lands at the Kent's residence to talk to Connor Kent, who doesn't believe that Superboy Prime is who he says he is. This instantly turns into a fight, and this is an epic fight that spreads across the whole town, with Connor Kent on the ropes until basically the Doom Patrol, the Teen Titans, and the Justice Society show up to overpower the Kryptonian. So this Superboy Prime is nasty. Nasty. Now Superboy Prime tries to reason with him that he's not the bad guy when he accidentally knocks off Panther's head.
Oops.
So when you were like, Superman doesn't kill, I'm like, but Superboy does.
Oh yeah, Superboy Prime was hardcore, boy. He completely lost it.
And he also kills a few other Titans, ripping off arms and limbs, and he's saying, don't make me do this.
Yeah.
Like hands through. I mean, just nasty. But what's really cool is just as like things are about to get really nasty, Two Flashes and Kid Flash show up to take Superboy Prime away. They just like they just grab him like in an instant, and then they rocket off into somewhere.
The Speed Force.
Yeah, right, into the Speed Force. Yeah. But they take him in a direction, and they get fast enough to do that. And as they're doing it, they're thinking, all right, well, we're going to get him. We're going to toss him into some place. But Jay Garrick, being the slowest, he falls off.
He can't make it.
He can't. And then Wally West to be pulled to weaken, and then Wally West to be pulled into another dimension where he draws his wife Linda Park and his twin children into it. So like he basically, like Barry, shows up and says, right, and people are like, come back. But this time Linda's like, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then grabs him and then gets pulled with the kids into the new dimension that they go to. Now, Kid Flash, Bart Allen, is left alone to deal with the insult. So Bart Allen's still running. He can still do it. And he's like pushing Superman until, which I thought Barry Allen popped through. But you said no, it's Wally?
It was Bart.
It was Bart, fully grown.
Artificially aged And wearing Barry's suit.
Which I was like, oh my God. Like, when I saw him pop through, I was like,
Yeah.
unbelievable. But with them also is Johnny Quick and Max Mercury. They show up to give the young speedster a hand, pushing the Kryptonian.
And they were trapped in the
Speed Force.
In the Speed Force. And that was when Barry does come back. Or maybe it was there that Bart is mad because they came back, but Barry didn't. It's after that when he holds a lot of resentment towards Max because Max came back from the Speed Force, but Barry didn't.
But Barry did not.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's help this kid out. You got it, right? We see the Max. No, don't do this to me. Wally's waiting for you, Bart. Don't be afraid. I'm not, Max. Let's go. They made me do it. You can't get rid of me. When I grow up, I'm going to be Superman. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, maybe. Well, it seems like Bart's pissed off at Superboy. He punches him in the face a couple times.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is what happens. Yeah, so this is why I thought it was Barry, because Bart looks at whoever the Flash is that comes through and says, Grandpa?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, what? Like, that's why I thought, oh, man, like, did they just bring back the Flash and take him away again?
Yeah, that sucks.
That's not cool. Yeah. All right, so now things get interesting. And mind you, Psycho Pirate's still in the mix.
Oh, of
right?
course.
Psycho Pirate got brought in by Alexander Luthor to sort of help out with everything that's going on. So now in Gotham City, Crispus Allen wakes up in the morgue with his body now in stitches this is crazy. When the Spectre finds himself drawn towards Allen's body, imprisoned there by his master, pleading for his mercy. This is a sick scene. Like, so this guy is...
Who is Crispus Allen?
I'm not sure. He's an African-American guy, and he has like a T stitched on his chest. Let me see if I can find this this thing. Yeah, it's really interesting. Here, let me keep going here. So in outer space, at the center of the universe, Airwave is disintegrated, and Firestorm finds himself divided as the combined energies of Jason Rush and Mick Wong are spent. At the giant machine, as Kal-El comforts his wife Lois Lane Kent by her bedside, and the army of Omax now surround the machine as it emerges to the surface. Alexander Luthor gets Psycho Pirate to make Black Adam call upon the name of Shazam. So the giant machine is actually one of the tuning forks.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see in the tuning fork, all these heroes are strapped to it, and these are special heroes. Do you remember that Alexander? I think it was in issue 2, was rounding up some of the special Crisis people. So they had what's his name, Lady Quark. Oh gosh, I forget now.
I think Manhunter was there.
Manhunter is there. Let me see if I can find a picture of the tuning fork. But then the Anti-Monitor's corpse is at the top of the tuning fork, and it's just weird. Yeah, it's just really kind of creepy looking.
Crispus Allen was the third host for the Spectre.
Okay. So he has this really awful scar, and it's a very hard scene to read and look at because he kind of breaks out of his chest.
Yikes.
The Spectre, and then he gets sucked back in, and it's like, oh, that hurts. Don't hurt yourself. So it was a little bit a little tough to take, but awesome, great action. I mean, great art. So we're now at the giant machine, and just like the shadow demons, sorry, I didn't mean to say parademons, are now surrounding the machine as it sort of emerges. And Alexander Luthor gets Psycho Pirate to make Black Adam call upon the name of Shazam, which basically gets the whole thing started. Because he says to him, who do you fear the most? And then he says, Shazam, and then to get him to say it. Now Luthor floats near the face of the Anti-Monitor's corpse as he concentrates himself on the task of fixing everything. So this is interesting. It's Alexander Luthor's starting to emerge as the villain, and but at the same time he's very, very set on making things right. He keeps saying, "I want to make things right," and it's still the voice of Alexander from the first Crisis story, where you feel you really trust him. You feel wow, it is a Luthor who's really going to make something happen. And now the heroes in the center of the universe see giant hands appearing in the heart of a maelstrom. So there are heroes out in space.
Wouldn't be a Crisis without a giant disembodied hand.
So those are Alexander Luthor coming out, trying to sort of work and
Fix
mangle
things.
the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he literally like takes Earths and smushes them together. It's really cool. So the heroes gathered in the Twin Cities of Central and Keystone notice that Keystone City, along with a good deal of the Justice Society members, all of a sudden vanish with Titans member Flamebird. Soon there was only one Earth. Soon where there was only one Earth, there is now two floating side by side with one another. So Earth 2 has successfully been recreated. And they just sit next to each other. In fact, you can look up in the sky and see the other Earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a scene that happens. And it's like really bizarre. It kind of makes everybody freak out.
Creepy. Yeah.
But all along the while, there are really awesome crisis lead-ups. You can see there's the two Earths. They're literally right next to each other. And they're magically not hurting each other. Yeah, they're not. Right, they're not messing stuff up. So yeah, here's another page where all the heroes are gathered. I mean, there's just some really, really good crisis spreads, and we're really starting to get into those in a really great way. So as Kal-El and now Lois Lane vanish from their cavern, right, which is where the machine has been and all this action's been going on, they find themselves appearing before the glittering Daily Star on the surface of Earth 2, in the heart of a restored metropolis that they once knew. So Kal-El tells his wife that they are now home on their home on Earth 2, and that things should be better, and that they're hoping that that will reverse Lois's illness. Yeah. And this is weird, is that Earth 2 is completely empty. There's no one there at all on the whole planet. Yeah, which is really kind of creepy.
Back the Earth, but not all its inhabitants.
Yeah, just the place. So they were hoping that something would trigger that and make that happen. All the while, too, Jaime Reyes basically figures out his powers as being Blue Beetle, and he's hanging out with Booster and Batman. They go in the Batcave and
Jaime's got to be freaking out.
Well, all of a sudden because Batman captures him, he turns into Blue Beetle, like the super suit one, and he just goes, "Whoa!" Yeah, it's really cool. Now on Earth 2, like they sort of have a lot of memories and stuff like that, and trying to remember why the good times and everything. But Lois dies.
Ooh.
She can't kind of take it anymore. So whatever was killing her from the start. And it's not that they're back on Earth 2. And then you see a famous shot from the cover where he's holding Lois, I guess Earth 1 Superman was holding Kara.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No!" and everything shatters on Earth 2, like in that Metropolis City block. And that makes Kal-El from Earth 1 hear him, and then he flies over and he says, well, what's wrong? What's going on? And that then sets up them to have an incredible battle, the Earth 2 Superman and Earth 1 Superman, on Earth 2 Metropolis, which is completely abandoned.
Yikes.
So they can do whatever they want. They can fight. But in the meanwhile, in between that occurring, Wonder Woman, basically is visited by the Earth 2 Wonder Woman, like the original Wonder Woman, who shows up in an invisible biplane.
Of course. Biplane.
Well, not even. It's not a biplane. It's a prop plane, but it's you can see it there on the bottom right.
Nice.
Yeah, and like she's all old and stuff. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and she talks to Diana. This is the moment where Diana's like kicking butt. I mean, people are about to try and like take her down, and she's like, "No, you're not. You don't listen to me." And this little girl sees her and is wearing a Wonder Woman shirt and says, "No," because Wonder Woman's acting crazy.
Yeah.
This is the moment she has to try and clear her head. But we do get now the fight between the two Supermans because he blames him for killing Lois pretty much.
Oh.
And then there's that famous from Action Comics #1.
Yeah.
Where
recreation of the cover of Action #1.
Where it's Earth 2 Salt and Pepper smashes the car onto Earth 1 Super. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So now, as a group of superheroes left on what's now Earth 1 gather together for a memorial service, and the group of heroes that's been transplanted to the newly restored Earth 2 now wonder where they are. Kal-El briefly rejoices in that he has saved his wife, Lois Lane, until she collapses, right? We were just talking about... I'm sorry, I just told that whole part, and I'm reading it here again. So they have a big fight, Kal-El and Kal-El, blaming him for the death of his wife, while Alexander Luthor watches from his earth-splitting machine, the tuning fork, knowing all the while that Lois Lane Kent wasn't going to survive at all. So, yeah,
so he knew that it wasn't going to help.
There's a bigger plan here, and he needed Earth 2 to be created in order for his plan to unfold. So meanwhile, Wonder Woman has that encounter with her Earth 2 counterpart. And as Earth 2 Wonder Woman and her visible jet vanish into nothingness, a new Earth Wonder Woman appears before a devastated metropolis on Earth 2, seeing that it's the fight between the two Supermans that's destroying it. So she lassos Kal-El, El is
Earth 2.
Earth 2, he's the older one. Okay.
El is
Earth 1.
Earth 1, yeah.
She lassos Earth 2 Superman in order to get him to stop fighting and to listen to reason, but Kal-El is still pointing the finger at her. Kal-El of Earth 1 and New Earth Batman for their failing to create a perfect Earth. To which Kal-El answers, this is the greatest line of the whole story: a perfect Earth has no Superman.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
I was like, damn, that's so good. Like that was great writing, you know. It was like, and he's crying. He's like, a perfect Earth. It is there that Earth 2 Superman stops fighting and instead flies over to where the body of his dead wife is to hold her one last time. Now, meanwhile, in the Batcave, Booster Gold enters with Jaime Reyes, introducing him to the Dark Knight as the new Blue Beetle, even getting him to transform into his super suit. And then Batman brings Booster and Beetle to where the Bug is parked, right, in the Batcave, to a small gathering of heroes selected for taking on Brother Eye. So now in outer space, in the center of the universe, Firestorm reforms again, this time with Professor Stein as the guiding partner.
Cool.
So whoever that other guy was, he sucked.
Yeah. Jason Rush.
Well, then the other counterpart to the Firestorm Matrix was another guy. MODOK or something? No,
MODOK.
Yeah, not MODOK. Yeah, it was another Firestorm.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but I guess that guy died or something, or he couldn't hear him anymore. So now back at the tuning fork, Alexander Luthor uses Brother Eye to direct a beam of energy towards Earth 2 Superman, who screams as he is now being used to create the multitudes of parallel Earths. So we discover that, this is really cool, that all of the heroes that are strapped to the tuning fork all have special multiverse DNA.
Oh.
So they're needed heroes. Like, they're critical to the multiverse existing. So that's why they're all linked and special. However, it is Superman, the Earth 2 Superman, the Golden Age Superman, who is the linchpin for the entire multiverse. So he's the reason a multiverse exists, pretty much, they're saying, is because of him. He's got the strongest amount of this DNA. And we see one of the most incredible scenes ever, where when this beam from Brother Eye hits him, Superman splits into every single form of himself ever.
Oh, wow.
And then all the multiverse is reborn.
I've used that before. It's a shot of every Superman ever holding his head and screaming.
Yeah.
I've used that when it's a meme that says when somebody says something so stupid that every version of you in every multiverse has caused pain.
Pretty much, yeah. So this was a very, very awesome scene. So now Nightwing is watching from the multiverse is reborn, and we get the pictures of all the planets and everything, and very much like Perez and Wolfman. So now Nightwing watches from atop Titan's tower, empty of all its heroes, as they are called to attend other matters, as the multiple Earths now appear in the sky, some of which are exploding, right? Because they're like crashing into each other and all this stuff. Now Connor Kent, who is now restored from his encounter with Superboy Prime, that was a serious fight. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now shows up to help Nightwing take down Alexander Luthor and his Earth-splitting machine with a special crystal given to him by his father. So this Superboy, I guess, what do we call him? Connor Kent. Yeah.
Connor, yeah.
He has this, from his father, right? Lex Luthor, that shows where the machine is located.
Okay.
So he hands Nightwing. He's like, "Well, I know where these guys are," and then Nightwing's like, "Oh, awesome! Like we can do something about this now."
Yeah.
So that's a very cool scene. However, oh man, Superboy Prime comes back.
Yeah.
And it's
pissed.
Yeah, but really quick though, in Japan, the Flash now shows up, and I'm not sure if this is Barry Allen or not.
No, that would be Bart.
It's Bart. Okay. Yeah. To warn Dr. Light that Superboy Prime has now escaped from Earth Prime.
He used. I had to look at my Flash showcase. He knew Superboy Prime had escaped and was coming back.
Oh.
So to beat him there, he used Barry's costume and Wally's ring to absorb the Speed Force into himself.
Oh, cool! So he could just
get there in time. And then he ended up expending all the. We believed at the time he ended up expending all the Speed Force that he had in him.
Right.
To end that fight.
Right. But that was a great moment from the original Crisis, right, where Kimio, I forget her last name, became Dr. Light.
Yeah.
Right, where we got that. And let's see here. And this is a really funny thing. When Blue Beetle becomes, he says, I don't even know how the hell I got here. Some kind of scarab crawled into me and put this suit on me, and now I'm in space with Batman. My brain feels like it's on fire. Batman says, I know it's difficult, but if Booster's right, you're the only one who can help us. I just thought that was a really funny part. It's Jaime Reyes. Poor Jaime Reyes is just...
Yeah, he's just drawn into this.
Yeah. But now here's the cool thing. Superboy Prime shows up, and he has special armor on that he created from the Anti-Monitor's armor. And it looks just like, so it's an energy absorber that just constantly gives him yellow sun energy.
Yeah.
So he's almost unstoppable. So now the next issue, this is where we see Kathy Lee Crosby acting as the Wonder Woman. We see an alternate version of her.
Oh yeah, the blonde version that
we
were talking about
from Earth 462. Right,
yeah.
We see all these. We see Earth S, Earth 97, Earth 247, 898, Earth 0 with the Bizarros, 154, which seems to have some more classic Batman style stuff, and then Earth 462, all going down.
Because there was a TV series that we had to look this up and find who it was that that played her as a blonde.
Right.
There was a TV series called Wonder Woman that Kathy Lee Crosby was in.
Right.
But it didn't look. She didn't look anything like Wonder Woman. She didn't have superpowers, but it was called Wonder Woman. So DC said, "Okay, that's this Earth." They actually named everything.
They gave it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Deborah Winger played her in 1978 in the series, but they're from Earth 462. So I guess that's the TV Earth.
Yeah. There you go.
So several heroes band together aboard a spaceborne version of Blue Beetle's bug. Accompanying them is Jaime Reyes, the new Blue Beetle. They are en route to destroy the Brother Eye satellite. As they approach, dozens of Omacs soar outward, attacking them. On Earth 2 now, the younger Superman consoles with the Earth 2 Superman over the death of his wife Lois Lane, very much like when Supergirl died, how they handled that. Now, New Earth Wonder Woman appears as well and convinces them to rejoin the fight. The oldest Superman realizes that he has been acting irrationally and that it is time once again to be a hero. He also knows that he must stop this new multiverse from expanding, or else it will end up destroying itself. Across countless parallel worlds, scores of superheroes deal with the cosmic upheaval of the multiple replicating Earths. Alexander Luthor uses his abilities to mix and match varying realities. That's where you see the hands come together and fuse Earths. But his efforts to create a perfect reality all end in failure. He even tries to merge Earth 2 and Earth 3 together, which makes Donna Troy realize that he is going to kill Superman and Wonder Woman. To prevent this, her team of heroes at the center of the universe fire at Luthor's hands, causing him to lose his right index finger and distract him long enough to save Wonder Woman and Superman, because they see in space the hands trying to orchestrate all this. Mm-hmm. All this is happening out in space. That's the important part that's going on. And I forget, what did they shoot him with that made him made that he went ow, and he retracted his hands through the thing. I forgot what that was exactly. But anyhow, a lot of cool action happening here. So now on Earth 1, we're now going to get magical. Many of the world's mystic characters gather at Stonehenge and now summon the Spectre. So we got a seance. So great crisis trope there.
Yep.
The Spectre is tethered to a former Gotham City Police Department detective named Crispus Allen. The Phantom Stranger, who says, "Oh, my old friend Spectre, it is me, Phantom Stranger," begs the Spectre's aid, but the Spectre is more concerned with fulfilling his obligations of vengeance, and he ignores him. He's like, "Oh, shade. Don't text me later." And for some reason, he randomly turns to Deborah Darnell, the new Star Sapphire, and says, "You are guilty of countless murderous acts," and like basically just kills her.
Wow.
For no reason. Yeah, it's just they meant to show that he's so obsessed with.
Yeah.
He's pure vengeance
He's
now.
vengeance. Yeah. There's no connection to an earthly host, so he is nothing but vengeance. And so, like, you didn't put a comma where you should. And you die.
And if you remember in the beginning of the story, Spectre like basically destroyed all magic.
Yeah.
He like wintered it down to like not it being evil or good or anything or whatever, it's just pure. So that's cool because that will sort of come back into the mix. Okay, here's a really good part. Now in the Arctic, Connor, Nightwing, and Wonder Girl reach Alexander Luthor's power station. Wonder Girl begins freeing the imprisoned superheroes, who subsequently begin attacking Luthor. So they're all taken off of the thing, right? The little big power needle. Okay, now, basically, Psycho Pirate looks at Black Adam to try and control him. And he says, "You will listen to me, Black Adam." And Black Adam basically holds out his hand and smushes his face. Like this.
Just kills him.
Look what he says.
Yikes.
"No more silly faces." to Psycho
I have
Pirate.
had enough of you.
Brutal. This is like the third brutal thing I've seen in this comic. Like it's just no joke. I mean, it's just guts, blood, piece of eyeball. Crazy. So now Superboy Prime emerges with his new solar collecting armor and tries to kill Nightwing. Connell intercepts him, and the two renew their battle. So Superboy Prime and Connor are now battling. Connell succeeds in repelling Superboy Prime. So the Superboy Prime who's here was the one who was thrown into another dimension by the Flashes.
Yes.
And now has come back with anti-monitor armor.
Yes.
And he's bad.
He's pissed.
Yes. So they have a huge battle, and basically Superboy Prime succeeds in destroying the tower.
Okay.
So that's what was keeping the multiverse going and all that stuff. But he dies in the process.
Yeah.
So as the tower is destroyed, the multiple Earths all now merge back into one Earth. And this is a really cool collapsing sequence. They did a good job with this, sort of showing it all come back into one space. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, that was a brutal part. Oh, my God. And, Superboy Prime is super strong. I mean, he punches Black Adam and just knocks him out. Like, in fact, Black Adam's punching him, and Superboy Prime is saying, "Ow, it hurts, the magic. And then he goes, "Actually, it tickles." And then he knocks Black Adam, like, across the world. I mean.
Yeah, because with the armor, like you said, it's, it collects solar
yellow
energy
solar
and just
energy
pumps it right into him
all day.
So yeah, makes him super powered.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Right. It's good. So it now collapses in, and Batman is sitting on Brother Eye, and they're trying to like destroy, I guess deal with Brother Eye, to try and sort of make it fall apart. But this is where Batman is a badass. All right, so let's jump in here.
He's always a badass.
He really is a badass. Yeah. All right, so now we're in the. Well, let's not jump there first. So Brother Eye, Batman is trying to rewire him. And this is very much a "What are you doing, Dave?" type moment, and he's saying, "Even as you tear my brain apart, Creator, I, EYE, am transferring my memory to the thousands of computers on board this satellite. You're wasting your time, Creator." "No, Brother Eye, I'm wasting yours. I'm not here to erase your memory. I'm here to distract you." And then he says, "I built you, and I put in limited propulsion systems designed to help adjust your orbit. One of my friends just deactivated that system.
Oh.
You've just been thrown out of orbit. It's over." And then
It's
it's
gonna
like
crash.
Yeah, and then it's starting to lash him with like wires and stuff. It was Mr. Terrific who could do that.
Okay.
Brother, I couldn't sense him.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Terrific's power is he cannot be sensed by technology, which was cool. I kind of realized that now.
Yeah.
So now in the final issue here, thousands of heroes and villains converge for a massive battle following destruction of the Earth-splitting machine and the merging of the Earth back into a single reality. This battle is orchestrated by Alexander Luthor as a last-ditch effort to take the Earth by force. But Superboy Prime doesn't desire to have this Earth before his home reality. He wants Earth Prime back. So now they have a split between the two of them. As he is about to kill Cassie Mark with his heat vision, the Flash attacks Superboy Prime. The Flash, who is revealed to be a grown-up version of Bart Allen.
Yep.
That's where it is.
Yep.
Kid Flash, who came back from the Speed Force wearing Barry Allen's original costume. So Superboy Prime then decides on a rather radical plan to bring back his reality to fly through Oa and just destroy it. Using the energy in the central power battery to create a new Big Bang that will restart everything, with him being the only hero in the new universe.
Yikes.
The heroes who could fly attempt to follow Superboy Prime in order to stop him, but his heat vision causes Breach to explode. I guess who is Breach?
Breach, I don't know.
Breach is somebody, some sort of hero. Bringing Captain Atom back to his own reality. So here's the thing, is that if anybody... So the tower, if you're a hero and one of the essential heroes like Black Adam, Martian Manhunter, Lady Quark, all that stuff, if you're standing near it, you stay there. If you get too far away from it out of its field, you get sent back to your reality. So that's why when Black Adam got punched, they said, oh, where is he? He actually showed up on Earth S.
Oh.
Like all of a sudden. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which was... So if you got punched out or lost orbit, you were then taken from that space.
Breach was originally supposed to be a reboot of Captain Atom. Management at DC decided not to revise the character, who was later rebooted during the 80s. With the development of Breach already under the way, a decision was made to partially rewrite the plot and characters, create a brand new superhero. So he's very similar to Captain Atom.
Cool. Well, it says it brought Captain Atom back to his own reality.
Yeah.
So they must have rebooted him right there with a ray.
Okay, he would have... in Infinite Crisis Limited Series revealed that the multiverse had survived, and Zanetti, who was Breach, had been a native of Earth 8 and its version of Captain Atom. So when he was destroyed, it brought Captain Atom back.
Cool.
Okay.
So now we're going to be... this is going to get interesting. All right, so now we have Kal-El, Earth 2, tries one last time to reason with Superboy Prime, but he refuses and takes off with both Superman, Power Girl, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern's Hal Jordan and John Stewart in pursuit. With Superboy Prime flying faster than even Kal-El or Earth's 1 and 2 Superman can match, Hal Jordan sends a warning to the rest of the Green Lantern Corps, the whole Corps.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Batman, Nightwing, and Tim Drake take down Deathstroke together when Alexander Luthor attacks Nightwing with the last of his power, saying that Nightwing has ruined everything and damned his Earth. As Tim tends to Nightwing, Batman goes after Alexander with a gun, ready to shoot him in the face. I mean, this is like an intense moment. And it's like the whole, like, you know, sorry, I skipped over a part. There was a big fight with Doomsday in the middle of that, too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that both Supermans basically beat the crap out of him. Yeah, it was no problem. They really...
Yeah, with two of them, yeah.
Yeah, they just took him down. It was easy. Okay. All right, this is going to be really good.
What stops Batman from killing Alex?
So, Batman's about to, like, unleash on Alex when Wonder Woman shows up.
She's the voice of reason?
Believe it or not.
The one who started all this crap with killing Maxwell Lord?
Believe it or not. And it's a really good scene, actually. She sort of echoes what Earth 2 Wonder Woman told her about being good and all this stuff. So she has her sword, and like just as Batman's about to do it, and she's like Bruce, or she says, Batman, don't do it. And then he's like, why? And then she throws her sword, and it cracks, it breaks on the ground.
Wow.
And she's like, we it's not worth it. We can't do it, right? So Batman like, he's like, I want to do it.
I really want to punch him.
And then he throws the gun away, and then basically, and avoiding a crumbling building as it falls upon Alexander. So he didn't really have to kill him.
Let's make him stand there for a second.
Yeah, just till the building falls. But Luthor doesn't die. He now later finds out that Nightwing will in fact be okay after getting the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah.
So now we're back in space. Superboy Prime races towards Oa, and he is slowed down by a 300-mile thick wall of pure green energy.
That's awesome.
Generated by the power rings of the Green Lantern Corps, who engage him in battle, with Guy Gardner taking the lead.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner, come on.
It's good.
Guy Gardner's awesome.
Now, Superboy basically kills about 25 Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you literally hear Green Lantern of Sector blah, 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 deceased, sending ring to new host.
Searching new host, yeah.
And it was like, oh my God. And he's almost ready to kill Guy Gardner when Hal Jordan intervenes and saves Guy. Like he's literally like, he's like, Gardner, you're mean. And then Hal's like, shoots him off him. As Superboy Prime is distracted, both Supermen grab him and fly him through the remains of Krypton. They basically grab him by the arms and they fly out to space to find the remains of Krypton. And it's all like kryptonite glowing and all this stuff.
Yeah, which that should be just like a big old, like a asteroid field of kryptonite.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then through the red sun of Krypton, which causes all their three heroes to lose their powers, and for Superboy Prime to lose his armor.
Yeah.
Now they stand in this place where they start to fight, and it's just, I guess they crash land on the Green Lantern planet Mogo, where
the one it's a sentient planet.
Yeah.
He's a Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
The whole planet is a being, and he's a Green Lantern.
Just
like this big strip around the planet
of a ring.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the hell that was.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was like a bad drawing of Oa.
No.
So where Superboy Prime, he kills Kal-El. He kills Kal-El, Salt and Pepper Super, by pummeling him to death. So nobody has powers, so everybody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And almost does the same with Earth 1 Superman, saying that when Kal-El is gone, that he will be Superman. At that, Kal-El rips the S-shield off of Superboy Prime's chest, saying that he will never, never be Superman, because he has no idea of what it means to be Superman, that it isn't about power or the symbol that's on his chest, but what he does with it. So after Kal-El defeats Superboy Prime, the Green Lantern Corps show up to destroy the kryptonite that fell on the planet, and now they basically take it all and make a big prison for him. Like he's in like a coffin type of thing. And he's brought back to a holding casket, and he's brought back to Oa for imprisonment. Power Girl weeps as her Earth 2 cousin dies, fearing that she will be left alone again, but Kal-El assures her that he will always be with her, even if she can't see him. For he now sees what his wife has seen when she died. So, this is Kal-El saying, "You're going to be okay.
Yeah,
I'll always be with you." As the heroes return to Earth to mourn for their dead, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman find themselves needing time to recover, not just physically, but also spiritually as heroes. As Diana flies off in her invisible jet to find out...
This is the 1 year later. This is the... after this.
Oh, is this where
everything jumps?
1 year?
Yeah.
So this is the missing year?
Yep.
This is what 52 was? Yep. Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah, because they all take time off. Bruce and Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, they just travel around the world while Dick recovers.
Oh, wow. I didn't quite catch that there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is the missing year. Or this is the beginning of the missing year. Or the cause of it.
Right. I see here, because there's a really important part here that's amazing. And then what we find out is that as they're starting to recover things, that basically, I think, is it Bart or Wally who says, "I'm retired," as the Flash?
Bart.
It's Bart.
Yeah.
He gives the costume to Jay.
He tells Jay that now he's the fastest man alive.
He's the fastest man alive.
Because he's the only speedster that still has speed, because his is not dependent on Speed Force.
Right.
Yeah. And they find out later that the Speed Force is actually still in him, and he but right at this point he thinks he's
done.
He
thinks he can't use it. So as Diana flies off in her jet to find out who she really is, and Batman goes on a journey with Dick and Tim Drake to rebuild Batman, Clark joins with his wife Lois, realizing that even though he will need time to recharge his powers, the Earth will be in pretty good hands with enough heroes present to take charge of things. There's a great spread of like all the people who are around while they're gone. Now, meanwhile, in rainy Gotham City, Alexander Luthor, who's now still alive, he's trying to get away, fumes as he reads the news stating that heroes save Earth celebrations globally, believing that the heroes haven't saved anything, and that he will make the world a brighter place when he is attacked by a squirt of acid on his face while surrounded by laughter. And now the painful sting of electricity coming from a joy buzzer of the Joker as the Joker basically just melts his face and murders him. And it's the Joker who all along who's been looking to get his revenge for not being included in Alexander Luthor's plans.
Wouldn't let him play any reindeer games.
Nope. Now Lex Luthor also appears stating that Alexander had underestimated him, Superman, Superboy, and that he didn't let the Joker play. Now as Lex Luthor watches the Joker strike the killing blow at his counterpart, he mockingly asks, "Now who's stupid?" So last bit here, on Oa, Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner are heading to a memorial for the Green Lanterns recently killed and observe the special prison used to house the renegade Kryptonian, the Superboy Prime. Too dangerous to be held in the science cells. The Guardians have placed Superboy Prime's cell in a junior red sun eater given to them by Donna Troy to be watched by 50 Green Lanterns at all times. In his cell, the Kryptonian etches a bloody S shield into his bare chest, saying that he's been in worse places than this, and he's gotten out.
Wow.
So, okay, this was an amazing story, which I think carried so much of what Perez and Wolfman really did well in Crisis, and even some of the loose ends.
Did he come back later? Did he escape from there, Superboy Prime?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Maybe he does for Final Crisis, but that would be something that you would know.
Look and see.
I haven't read it yet. But what I would say is that I think that this story is a real comment on the cynical late 80s and 90s anti-hero explosion.
Oh, yeah.
From the position of the Golden and Silver Age loving sort of comic book writers and artists.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
On really how they sort of messed everything up by collapsing the multiverse. But in this book, they opened it and then collapsed it again. The main heroes are resurrected, to a power tuning fork that is half the Anti-Monitor's body. I thought that was so cool. Amazing that I really thought the genetic vibrational connection was really interesting. And that Superman is like the key to all that. I mean, it kind of makes sense, when you think about the scheme of comics. Superman is really the first major superhero, right? Not the.
He does show back up in Final.
Oh, okay. Thank you once again for ruining that for me.
That would be cool, though.
Timmy D. D for disappointment.
Sinestro Corps, too.
Oh.
Well, imagine that.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Ooh.
Well, he must be a real badass then.
Yeah.
The quote that a perfect Earth doesn't need a Superman was really like, whoa. I think that was a linchpin in the story. The Return of the Multiverse was really just done so epically well. I just thought the way they demonstrated it, the way they showed all the graphics, I mean, it explained it, I think, really well so that you can understand. And then there was just so many like poses, one-liners, and double-page spreads that were just homage to like all the great things. It was a real celebration of the Golden and Silver Age. I just kept thinking that every time something like that would happen. And then Alexander Luthor's hands being the thing was really cool. Much like the Monitor, Anti-Monitor had tried. Seeing Psycho Pirate die was great.
And the way it happened is just like, okay, that's enough of that.
That's right.
You don't mess with Black Adam.
Yeah. And just, I think the Joker being the ultimate savior of the universe.
That's hilarious.
I mean, because Alex could have just reopened everything else up again. He was very well hidden in Gotham, but nope, not from the Joker. So, Timmy, this story gets 5.5 out of 5 Ninja stars because it got extra credit for just working real hard and being an excellent, excellent story.
Yeah.
Great art, great writing. I mean, I cannot wait for Final Crisis now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I think having Morrison at the helm of that is going to definitely take us to Wackyville, but
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Well, and I mean, the big event from Final Crisis was the death of Batman. That was his dead body is on the cover. If you can't figure that out,
you know what? I'm just teasing you. No, I was aware of that. I just just say no more, please.
but that was, I mean, of course he's not really dead, but of course it's comic books. Who is? So
yeah, just Jack Kirby. He's the only one we can prove is dead.
But yeah, that was the big thing there, and I guess why obviously why it's called Final Crisis. But the cover of Superman holding him after, I mean, because the effects of the Omega Beam are pretty nasty.
It's anti-life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Superman holding, it's basically like a dried out husk of Batman is a pretty startling image.
Yeah.
So
the only letdown I have from this story is we had nothing from New Genesis.
Oh,
and Omega, or what is it? What's Darkseid's planet? Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Nothing from them. I was a little bit, we had Spectre as being the biggest being, maybe Alex Luthor being up there, but he's an antimatter guy, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of thought that was missing.
They would be included in the whole thing. I think at the time they weren't really doing anything with them. I mean, I don't think they've really done anything with the New Gods except Darkseid.
Yeah.
I mean, and his minions. But yeah, they've kind of left everything else off because Orion, I don't think has been around in a long time.
I think Mr. Miracle was in this story.
Yeah.
But that was it. He just was glowing and flew by, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah. There's little scooter things that he flies on. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he was flying. He was good. Are you thinking of Orion or?
No. Didn't Mr. Miracle have little discs that he rode on?
Huh? Well, not in this one. He flew like a flying hero would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the M on his chest glowed, like it was like a chemoluminescence or something like that, like Tron.
Yeah, I found the image here. He's riding almost like Magneto. When Magneto would make those little discs of metal,
right?
He would ride those. Yeah, it almost looks like that. Yeah.
Cool.
So I don't know if he actually flies or whether he's riding something. There's a little scooter.
Yeah, a little motor scooter.
A little motor scooter, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bad motor scooter.
True.
Yeah, but as far as things go, next up is Final Crisis.
Are we doing countdown? Or no, that was a countdown to Infinite Crisis. Is there a countdown to Final?
There is a countdown to Final Crisis.
Should we do that? Or?
I think so. Yeah, we should.
Okay.
But I guess, do we want to do, when is Flashpoint?
Flashpoint is after.
Is after Final Crisis?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this in between.
Yeah, Flashpoint is what gave us the New 52. So it's in 2011.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, Final Crisis was 2008? Yeah, 2008. And that's what gave us, that's when Barry came back.
Oh, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So we've got, all right, so we just did Infinite Crisis. Then there's 52. Should we do a 52?
Well, that wasn't really, I mean, that was the story of the
missing year.
The missing year.
It's a great story.
I mean, it's a good story, yeah.
Then there's 1 year later.
And that was really only just kind of the coming, if I remember correctly, that was just like the coming back.
I think so.
Of what had happened, like them coming back, like Batman coming back to Gotham and what's gone on and getting back
Clark
into
gets his Superman, his powers back.
Yeah, because he had to recharge after the fight, didn't he? Wasn't he depowered at the end of?
Well, they flew through a red sun.
Yeah. So yeah, he had to recharge his solar batteries basically.
But then we have Amazon's attack in 07. Then we have Sinestro Corps War in 07. Yeah. And then we have Countdown to Final Crisis in 2007.
Okay.
Weekly series.
Because Superboy Prime does show back up in Sinestro Corps. He was part of Sinestro's crew.
Oh, cool.
That's scary.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Him with a ring. Wow.
Oh, I know. A yellow ring for that.
Yeah.
But then we've got, final countdown to final, and then Blackest Night, Brightest Day, and then Flashpoint's actually 2 years after. It's 2011.
Yeah, it's 2011.
Yeah.
And then we got Convergence. Or, well, actually, before Convergence, we talked about this today. We should do the Forever Evil.
Yep.
Because that was Earth 3 coming here. And that was when the crime syndicate basically everyone believed that Nightwing was killed. So that's why he's now he's a spy now, because everybody thought he was dead. Because the crime syndicate, they had him strapped to what they called a murder machine, and the only way to get him out of it is to make the machine think he was dead. So Luthor stopped his heart, and Batman almost beat the living crap out of him. He almost killed him, and Luthor was able to go, "I'm trying to save him." So maybe you should have told him that before you did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he because the machine had to believe that he was dead, or else it wouldn't let go of him. So it thought he was dead. And then
by stopping his heart.
By stopping his heart.
So it's
and
like
then
Romeo
Luthor
and
brought him
Juliet.
back. Yeah. So.
Timmy, this has been your bartender at your Misty Borderland bar.
And actually, I think that's going to do it for this. We'll push the 70s, the showcase on the greatest novels, sci-fi novels of the 70s, to next week.
Oh, really?
Because this was, we're at 2 hours and 45 minutes. So.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Hey, it was an infinite crisis, Tim. It did say infinite on the cover.
And it was a big story, so it was.
Well, cool. All right, I hope it was worth it, because that was this like, I think this might be up in my top 2.
Yeah, it was a good story.
Crisis stories. Yeah, Jeff Johns is an amazing writer.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good.
And you have him and Grant Morrison working together. God, yeah,
amazing.
That's good stuff. So, but before we get out of here, we always take a look at our picks for the week. Do you have any picks?
I do. One really cool thing, classic gaming coming back on Steam. The original Gold Rush is having their anniversary edition. It's on sale for $7. If you've ever played Gold Rush, a Sierra online classic, where basically you start in Brooklyn, New York, and you try to get to the Old West, out to California to be a rich gold prospector.
Cool.
So it's a lot of point and click and all sorts of fun stuff. But it's on Steam, Gold Rush.
Cool. I've got something kind of on that. It's not really a pick because they haven't done it yet. But if you remember Descent, the old video game,
the flying first-person shooter.
The first time you had, as they called it, 6 degrees of motion.
Well, you turn upside down
you could turn upside down. Oh yeah, it could be very quickly nausea-inducing. But they are working to make a new version of it.
Wow, Descent.
And from what they've released, it looks really sweet.
Oh, cool.
And that was one of the games that really kind of revolutionized gaming, because at that point it wasn't like a first-person shooter. You run along, you didn't have to look up. Like Quake was one of the first ones that you had to really look up. It introduced. If you've got a balcony up above you, you have to pay attention to that. You can't just look straight
Somebody
forward.
will snipe you, yeah.
But this took it completely even farther, because you're in a spaceship and you're inside of basically a zero-G environment. And you could then, like you said, you could turn upside down, you could spin around. And it was, you had to change the way you controlled gaming, because you had to have A and Z was A was forward and Z was back.
But then you had like roll,
and you had roll
pitch
and pitch,
yaw
and all this other stuff. And
man!
So you couldn't just do the WSAD first-person shooter control. You had to change how you play the game, basically.
Oh, that's awesome!
It was so much fun, and from what they've released, and they're doing a Kickstarter, and it looks really, really good.
Awesome! I'm trying to look up screenshots here. But I'm getting a ton of memories from the. I remember just like being so bad at the game that like I would just, we
would play it at the TV station with the group of people that we had there, we abused the network at the TV station and played games all the time. Nice. Descent was one of them, and we would play until basically in a multiplayer, it would count up a score, but then the whole point of Descent was to destroy the mine. So you'd go down there, you'd destroy the power plant or whatever, and then you had to get out before the whole thing blew up. So if you were getting your butt kicked in the multiplayer like dogfight, you just go blow it up and get it, because you knew it was blowing up. You could head straight for the exit. Whoever was playing against you could be wherever, and all of a sudden the countdown starts, and you're like, oh crap! So, hey, I won, I lived.
So I went to their Kickstarter. They're funded.
They're completely funded now?
Yeah, it says funded.
Nice.
Shazam, Descent Underground.
Nice.
Let's see, February 12th, new build for Alpha and Beta and Underground members. So if you were in it, wow, cool.
Yeah, it
this
looks
like
really good.
It's happening.
It looks really good. And also, I finished up Armada, the book that I was reading by Ernest Cline.
Oh yeah.
It was good. It wasn't. It kind of fell apart, and almost kind of fell into old cliches during the middle of it. But it was a good read. So it wasn't as good as Ready Player One, his first book, but it was a decent book. So it was a good read. So cool. If you can go out and pick that up, but I would definitely suggest going out and getting Ready Player One, because it was really, really awesome. So and that movie we talked about earlier is going to be coming out in 2018. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah. When your first book is picked up by Steven Spielberg, you've done pretty well for yourself.
Nice job.
So, but that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on Twitter at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. While you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Mike say,
"Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.